My question is, I think there's a chance Leviathan might just ban it outright, because I think XSET has shown better things on that map, and Leviathan has been a lot less willing to play it. But Icebox is actually the ban to come on through from Leviathan. It's a map they're not a huge fan of, so not super surprised by that one. XSET, pretty much their perma bar fracture will be that bind, but this means Split is left in the pool, and this has been an incredible map. XSET brought this in for Stage 2, and they were excellent on it regionally.
I think most people have been banning it against them. I think the one team that led it through was FaZe, who ended up barely scraping it out, and that was the only map they ended up beating them on. So a strong pick there for XSET. I know they've been liking Haven along this tournament, but it just doesn't make sense to pick it up against a team like Leviathan.
Yeah, and Leviathan get Ascent, and after yesterday, Mimi, I'm excited to see them back on Ascent.
I mean, they were just so good on that map yesterday, but let's give credit to XSET as well. They play an interesting comp here. This is where you see Zekken pivoting on over to the Sova. You have BCJ on Omen. They switch a lot up, but it has been a solid one for them, and you mentioned Haven. That'll be our third map.
Interesting decider. You know, we saw the struggle from XSET. As I said, the contrast between the grand finals up against Optic, they looked incredible on Haven, and it was a completely different team when it came around to the last iteration. One of the big problems for me on this map, actually thinking back, very similar to what we saw from Angel, Def was going down early again and again and again, and having an initiator, and then I think in the same series he was on the brim, going down right at the start of the rounds, it put them in so many awkward positions where they just didn't have the utility they needed when going into sites.
Well, we have the maps locked in here, but we're going to take a quick break. Make sure you guys stay with us, because Leviathan and XSET will be taking the stage right after this. We're into the Prime Gaming Agent, the select here. Again, King, the Neon, is what he played last time. So we're probably expecting them to lock it in. And on that side of XSET so far, everything is completely different, apparently, because Def is playing Sage now.
A little bit of a change up there. Does BCJ stick with the Sky? No, he's pivoting to the Omen. So this is actually similar to the composition that they play on Ascent with BCJ on the Omen. And I don't know how to feel about it. I think it's an undervalue of initiators because they're just so good in this meta, but at the same time, I think it's a counter pick to that Neon,
yeah.
right? You have the
like
Sage to slow things down. You have the Viper as well. This team is actually really good at playing against Neons because FaZe plays it always on this map, and XSET has played a lot against FaZe and are always shutting down Baby Bay, so I'm a little worried for King.
This could definitely be somewhere that XSET and Psycho in particular have just come out and really set the analysts on their opposition, looked at how to counter it. We saw it. DRX faced major roadblocks last international event when teams came in ready for them. This is not going to be easy if Leviathan haven't at least got some serious contact time with this Sage in encounters.
Well, it's a different look for XSET, and they certainly want to avoid that first seed curse. I'm going to throw this over to your casters for today. It is Sideshow and Brent.
Thank you very much, Sue, and the analyst desk crew. Yeah, we've got an elimination match, Josh.
Yeah,
our second one of the day. It's all on the line here. Leviathan versus XSET. The last hope of South America, the entirety of that southern half of the continent.
Yeah.
Playing against XSET, who are trying to dissuade and disprove the North American first seed curse, I think.
And that comes with its own different set of motivations for both of these teams. I feel like Leviathan here might be playing for more. If they win, they make champs. They're the last hope of South America. They're trying to bring glory back to their region. On the other side of things, XSET, it feels like, are more so playing to prove that they belong, to prove that they are part of this group of top teams, just to prove the doubters wrong, let's say. Take a look at the pistol round, though, as the desk was pointing out. XSET are pretty well prepped for this.
Oh, off the rip, you can feel it. Leviathan have been playing this Neon comp last few matches, found some success of it on Split, obviously, and both of these teams, they do love to lean into each other's map picks as well.
And all of this aggression down mid and out of B main is funneling people into Takolia, who's sat here with a shorty.
You don't expect this, surely. You don't clear this, and the shorty doesn't get returned with the kill, in fact. But the damage is done. Right from on high, on top of Heaven. King's already ready to supplement it. Raining down the bullets. Cryo just trying to walk through
That's the spike.
slow field.
That's the spike.
Yeah, drop down.
It looked like he was searching for a weapon or something, but he's put Zekken and Def in a very hard position to win, and Melsa just deals with them. No problem whatsoever. And I think XSET have the advantage on this first map, even though Leviathan are 3-0 with this current composition. It's been XSET's best map for quite a while. And when I look at the compositions, I think XSET have deliberately counter-stratted them here with the comp itself. You've got Def with slow orbs, walls, that kind of thing, and BCJ pulling out the paranoia should be a more effective tool to deal with than the suck from Astra, weirdly enough, because you can just run past those sucks. It's so hard to get the timing. So for Leviathan to be able to pick up the pistol here, and we'll see how much more momentum they can find, they could get the early footing.
It's a big deal.
And with how much the game plan collapsed for XSET against Optic, these first impressions and the momentum you can get early in the series could be very important.
This is high risk right now. Easily could be punished, but no one's going to be following off of this. Bit of an off angle straight down mid as well, spamming it with the Spectre. CJ falls. It is about that momentum, I think, for them. A rebound off the flash. They're going to try and re-clear this one as well. Stun supplementing that. Pushing them back, but still slow is the name of the game, with a minute left in the clock here on the eco.
And this is how XSET are going to be approaching their attack half. Little jiggle from Adverso, spots the player.
Good trade at the end of the day.
And that's the power of XSET all grouping up as they take mid like this. Going to be able to get a Spectre into their hands, but no map control, no information towards A main or B main because they're playing so grouped and trying to trade out against better guns. So now take a little bit of a riskier split back through B. And they're going to meet Takolia again with the Headhunter.
30 seconds left.
Yeah,
He's so comfortable with the Headhunter. It really looks like a weapon in his hands.
It certainly is a weapon. Slide off angle has to respect it though. Backs away the aftershock to try and stop them from going through the choke point. But while all this is going on, time is running low. Wall going to be dropped down. It's up to Cryo to see if he can catch timing. Stun dropped. The kills are going to start to fly through for them. In fact, they found many off the back of it. Spike has to be snuck though, but the crossfire is being watched. Second,
what a play.
He's worked his way into their spawn. Watching the angle, and it's just a thrifty win off of it.
What a thrifty to get XSET back into this one early. They needed a bit of a confidence boost, I think, in the first 4 or 5 rounds, but to find one round 2.
You could hear him screaming.
Yeah.
10 seconds
Yeah, these
left.
guys are hyped. They're determined not to allow the same errors that plagued their game occur again. But this is above and beyond being able to take round 2.
Leviatan's comp as well. I mean, I love this composition.
Listen to that. Specifically from Def and Aaron as well. 2 of the players that didn't really step up and have those huge performances. The players with experience, they're screaming.
And the desk was touching on it. In terms of, you know, that first seed North American curse. For the guard, when they ended up losing at Reykjavik, it was off the back of that inexperience and the rookie players. Hasn't really been the case as much of XSET. It's been Cryo and Zekken really turning up the youngest players.
Yeah.
And the experienced players who really just weren't there in the Optic match.
Yeah, dropping the ball a little bit. I think specifically Def, as the IGL, ended up having 9 first deaths in the series against Optic. He'll be wanting to calm down a little bit, reduce the amount of opening duels that he's taking. And the game plan itself fell to pieces too, and that wasn't just Def, because Aaron does the calling for them on the defense side. Now, tuning back into the game though, this has just been a very easy eco round for XSET to put away. I think Leviathan are going to find it quite difficult to get. Are they just strategizing about what?
Min-maxing. Yeah, they're trying to get the res onto there.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be much more difficult for Leviathan to pull off these big eco rounds because XSET are just going to sit back. They're going to take a very defaulty, safe approach to this attack half. But if they group up and barrel over people, we've already seen how dangerous those rounds can be. And what a great economy to have as you head into a round that could break Leviathan again.
Plenty of money. Prime Gaming flawless, of course, so use any of that weaponry. They dealt with that aggressive push quite nicely. XSET are going to be quite comfortable, I think, as well, playing against this Neon. Certain regions, it's a bit more of a rarity peak, but, I mean, XSET were forged in the fires and flames of playing against FaZe.
Yeah.
They're used to it.
And not just FaZe. Optic played this composition too. 2 players detected over by the A side. You're expecting Aaron on this Viper pick to work A ramp pretty heavily. The smoke cutting off information from Takolia's position up at A ramp, and anybody playing
really awkward
the back of A2. Look how aggressive Adverso is in mid. This is the second time he's tried to play these kind of positions right behind the smoke. With, I guess, kind of shy there to trade, but not too many people around.
The smoke is awkward because look at this, the players of XSET grouping up around Takolia. Has to get value with this operator pickup. That's why they put it in his hands to see if he can find something, but it's Zekken who takes him out first.
A major first pick for Zekken Shy, instantly with the response. Throws down a fragment grenade as well to stop the rest of XSET exploding into the site.
This is really nice delay, I think, from Leviathan.
Can BCJ get anything done on the other side of the map? No, he's just going for the backstab lurk. and eventually XSET break through.
Second's already going to be taking a lot of that space. Aaron does get spotted, and King will fall. Just trying to contest this one now. 3 players left alive for Leviathan. Obviously still doable for them, but BCJ's found wonderful timing off the back of that one. Reminiscent of the way that, honestly, Def sometimes plays when they were playing him on the smokes. And still down with the rifles in their hands. Leviathan, they've got an opportunity, but it's slowly slipping away from them now. Just left alone, and Verso just wondering where the remnants of them are, hiding in every little pocket of the map.
What a fantastic round from Zekken. And he opens it up and finishes it off 5-2 currently. And the desk was talking about his statistics. Yeah, they were slightly worse than the North American playoffs, but that was in a loss to Optic in God form. So Zekken has definitely been stepping up for this team. However, he was getting first killed a lot. That was one of the issues that they ran into, was Zekken dying early, and they didn't convert a single 4v5 round, which is astonishing. But if Zekken can keep delivering them the entry kills, that's going to be a major win condition for them on the attack. Here's Aaron. Aaron knows what to do against this kind of aggression. He backs off, absorbs it, and Leviathan don't see too much.
It's incredibly passive positioning from Aaron, so yeah, nothing. 8. A bit of damage. Mid explored. Have to be careful, of course, when you're up against the eco to half buys, even when in this particular situation, you never know when it could just be turned on its head. Melza in particular, player I'm looking at, that Bucky in his hands, could do some significant damage, but Zekken's probably going to be double satchelating right past him. The nade sent through, that's going to be a pull, moves across, but not able to claim the kill, and Cryo is so good for it.
Takalea unable to have any impact back here. Oh, hello, Def. Going for a peek. Gives Takalea 1. Only 3 bullets in the headhunter, now down to 2. It does look like this would be almost impossible. The gun, irretrievable. But Leviathan will try and do as much damage as possible to a flourishing economy.
Yeah, at this point, either just setting up, trying to anticipate a player walking into them to try and play the exits. Looks like Takali might want to go for something. Smoke drop down and spawn side, though that's going to honestly dissuade anything that he was trying to go for. Just playing for the exits and to die to the spike at this point. Yeah,
essentially just dying to the spike. Trying to stop any level of ultimate snowball that XSET might get online. But you're thinking about this coming into the next round, which is going to be another economical swing situation. XSET are going to be going in with a showstopper, for example. A tour de force available for Cryo if he wants to try and navigate that on the attack half too. And while Leviathan do have some tools, the early round aggression is more so what their comp is going to be suited for. And there are some cool trap plays you can run with this, especially around mid, that we might see come out. But you're looking for Rolling Thunder to get online or something like that, maybe King's Ultimate, before you can properly execute those. So far, XSET in pretty commanding control.
Yeah, for their attack side, it's pretty good, honestly. Cryo with the tour de force, whips this one out now, going to be locking down that angle straight down mid. Obviously doesn't want to overextend, just holding in case they do end up pushing deeper into mid. You can see a lot of these slow, cautious rounds from XSET on their attack side, just the nature of their composition running these double controller.
Adverso.
Oh, they're just spamming a common angle.
Yeah, Adverso has been playing that position so many times, and this time
in a row.
This time XSET get the read. And BCJ, Shy is getting...
this play is a little bit... You're going to get punished instantly, it's traded.
Just trying to grab that information, but not having a read on how slow XSET are playing. That's a nice one to get them back into the round, though. BCJ took B main very early on, and Takalea is effective with the retake.
Yeah, this feels like Leviathan defaulting to high-risk, high-reward plays, but they have evened it out in this round.
And that's where you can stop. That's where you can slow things down. You're not at a player disadvantage anymore. But Melsa's going to be asked to do everything.
Yeah, 1 star waiting at the choke point a little bit deeper.
30 seconds left.
Question is, can Melsa even survive this one?
Does he even know?
Angle does end up getting that pull off, and it's in a good placement for it. Spots him out as Cryo was just trying to scale off a bit, take a bit of space onto ramp. Second eventually just breaking free of all that utility. Doesn't get the rocket off, though. Down to the 2 players left into this post plan for XSET. Incredibly winnable round for Leviathan.
If Aaron had managed to grab a kill at any other point, the Viper's Pit would certainly be getting used right now. But Leviathan are playing this so cautiously, so safely. somehow Arin dodging the stuns.
Yep. Sent them flying fast lane down to see if they can get and drop down onto the low ground, just spamming through, finding that first kill. Arin falling all down to Zekken, only the one, finding the second. You've got to be kidding me. 7 bullets left. A dodge, a juke right round the corner, around the map, but King, oh!
Does he have it?
I think he might have just had enough time. It's right down to the wire. Is it going to be enough? The answer is yes. 0.10 on the clock. Leviathan going to be gaining a round.
That's one to sweat about.
Ooh.
And Zekken is going to be kicking himself because he chose that timing to go and swing. He had a nade back online, but was uncomfortable trying to pick a timing. And take a look at the replay again. He's just dancing around. And if he had been literally 0.1 of a second slower on the swing, they win that. What a big one. What a big one there for King to come out and win in the clutch.
King is the centerpiece of a lot of these Neon compositions, especially Leviathan when they're playing it. The guy who they're going to be relying on. Paranoia drifting across B main there.
BCJ is using a ton of utility early round to stop Takalia going for early B main control. Last round he used a smoke just in the middle of B main and slowly tried to get in there, still ended up dying. This time, Paranoia off the rip, just to push the Oppa back.
Just to set Cryo up on the angle, so he can hold it and try and take that space. It's going to be explored at the same time.
And a reminder here, Brent, that both of these teams actually chamber duel and Cryo comes out on top of it. I mean, they seem to know exactly where Taco is going to be playing. And my point that I was going to bring up, Brent, they've only had 24 hours to prep.
Not a lot of time at all. King returning fire though. Takes out second, but the Resurrect ready and waiting in the back pocket, offloaded, even a snake bite so that it ensures that King just can't hold the angle and spam it down to make sure he can undo that work.
Melzer is doing a great job of holding down A ramp though. He was the player that got him a man advantage situation previously, and now he's in front of the Viper utility. Oh, Zekken though finds a pick on a player trying to push out. Can Melzer do it again?
Finds the one. The player's dodging it, trying to swing him! What a spray down! Exactly when his team needed it. And the positioning is gained. The XSET players, they try and return once more. The Rolling Thunder scattered across. 14 seconds down, and it's ticking.
10
Spike is
left.
unobtainable right now. This is going to be a one round for Leviathan, and it's all down to Melzer.
Disgustingly good A-ramp anchoring there from Melzer in back-to-back rounds to get his team back into it. BCJ's gun gets ripped away as well. What a hero Melzer is right now. He's getting them tons of good info just by playing in front of the Viper utility. And it feels like the only area of the map that XSET aren't dominating. They're winning the duels in B main, they're winning the duels in mid as well, outplaying the players there. But Melzer just lining those players up on Arin and Cryo so perfectly.
Space and not quite there with a swing.
XSET's back was broken against Optic when Crashies kept winning clutch rounds against them.
Yeah.
Oh, we're already back in. All right, there we go. Let's have it. So, a reminder of where we're sat. It's 4-3 in the lead for XSET, but Leviathan were mounting a bit of a comeback. And here's Taco with a very early peek.
This is so aggressive.
The first time they haven't thrown util at him.
Yeah, it's a complete wide swing to try and bait the shot out. But still, has to respect the paranoia that was sent flying towards him. Rendezvous back to safety.
You can see already how much value they're getting out of the Omen pick. Not necessarily kills, but positioning, map control.
Yeah, fully grouped up. Down into B main, that's going to be the Omen TP right into the back, and the nade. The stuns to cut across here. The rest of XSET actually can't follow up off of all this space that's been gained, but the smoke, it splits it up and it gives enough coverage just for Zekken to strike.
It's an awesome punish from Zekken. And look at how they're using BCJ's smokes as well, just to cut off all of these Leviathan players that might want to punish them. XSET are slowly marking their area of the map and dividing it up, slicing the space and taking it.
They have been denied this though. The Cosmic Divide splitting up the site. That's going to be a Viper spit off the end of it. Space needs to be gained here. The rest of the Leviathan players, they have worked their way through. The side just trying to deny up the spike plant.
30 seconds left.
Time is running so low. It's just spam against spam. Bullets flying from one side to the other. Adverso. He's worked his way into the back. A timing here needs to be impeccable, and he's got it, but still it's being covered at the back. Only 17 seconds left, and it's all up to Shy. But Cryo, the big wraparound right from on high, on top of heaven, shuts it down.
And the poise is looking lovely right now from XSET. They're not rushing anything. They're making sure they punish any of the plays that the Leviathan players are going for. I mean, King could have easily got value on that wraparound play from Pillar. It's a smart play, but Zekken reads it and swings through the smoke off the back of the sound cue. And then you've got Cryo making this reflank after Adversos had been shut down.
And that's perfect timing as well. Mauser was watching that for so long.
Yeah, it is absolutely perfect.
Create chaos, baby. That's what we do.
So create chaos, is that what I heard?
Yeah, I think so. Create chaos, baby. That's what we do. Coming out from BCJ. It looks like XSET wanted to go a little bit faster this round, and they've been instantly shut down by a suck nade combo. And Taco is so advanced.
Pushed into sewer.
You just
with
never
a
expect
force.
this. If any of the XSET players come down here, Taco's
I
going to
mean,
spawn a slow field as well.
How did they anticipate this?
Was that a deliberate jiggle from
Yeah,
Def?
they just knew that the space had been lost, I suppose, and decided to test it.
Crazy good awareness.
Nade into the corner, they got another players there, forces it out. Showstopper up into the high ground, just a flick of the wrist off to the side. Adverso though ready, and waiting, what is that flick? Aaron's down and out, and it's all down to Taco. Taco Leah, tour de force, 1v2, this weapon, anything's possible. Players grouped up, doubled up on this slight angle, one behind. Just a flower pot, but doesn't expect it. The XSET players just holding that.
Yeah. I think that's really a really good attempt by Leviathan to try and make the round as close as possible. But Cryo's just holding these angles, shutting down the players, and it's the same duo. This time you're getting big performances, though, out of BCJ, and Def is playing much better in terms of his opening duel win rates. But it's still Cryo and Zekken doing a lot of that heavy lifting. And I think, potentially, the swap from BCJ over to Omen might have allowed him to have some level of mental reset.
For sure.
We're going into a tactical here, I believe. But, yeah, I think the swap from BCJ over to Omen, his Omen's been great. He's been playing it occasionally in the past on Split. He's been pulling it out on Ascent. And it gives him an opportunity to move away from the initiator role and maybe the whole headspace he's in of being one of the best initiators in the world.
And putting so much focus on him.
Just focus on the Omen. His Omen utility has been amazing and extremely unique so far. Throwing smokes that are specifically targeted to Leviathan players, not just default choke points being smoked off.
It's all purposeful.
It is.
To shut down players like Taco Leah, I mean, we all know how capable these players are on Leviathan. Incredibly skilled. Taco Leah can absolutely take over a game if you give him those opportunities, but he's just being kind of pushed out. He's not being offered the same opportunities to really let loose over the map and find those options. The time out being taken for Leviathan.
Yeah, and thus far, XSET have managed to contain Leviathan's aggression. We saw it in spades when they played against DRX. Map 1, they were wide swinging, aggressive, hitting their shots, and XSET have managed to just dampen all of it. Paranoia used again off the rip for BCJ just to take B main control at the beginning of the round. Such a heavy investment. The rest of XSET move their way towards him.
Holding these crossfires, the smoke is propped up. Adverso's in a world of hurt. Drop down, the spam, I mean, they're just catching stray bullets all over the bloody shop.
Yeah, they've got a fantastic read on how Leviathan want to try and contest this. Taco has moved into that position that Meltzer was previously playing, pushing in front of the Viper utility. So 4 of these Leviathan players are going to be able to stack towards mid and B. Hasn't been enough yet, though.
So much damage done. Deep positioning game, though, by Taco Leah. Knows that there's no players lurking towards that, so it does give Leviathan a bit of an advantage that they know that this is being heavily played in mid. The double swing, different elevations as well. So XSET clear that one, making sure that they're favored. But they get close enough. They know the trademark's not set up there. They don't hear the sound cue.
The time is definitely ticking, and King and Adverso are waiting on B with full utility.
This off angle, Josh. Right now, they're just trying to break it, steadily make their way in. The nade cut across. King not being separated. Perfect crosshead placement, drops down to the low ground. Cryo, he's been dealt with.
And all of these stuns, all of these flashes, XSET just have to go. There's no time.
Yeah, there needs to be some oomph off the back of it, but BCJ seems to be delivering. 12 seconds left. The spike has to be stuck. Coverage is there. Going to be able to get themselves into this post-plant situation. And Shy just stops to just save. They're just going to save.
They're just going to save. I mean, how many
2v3?
How many saves did we see coming out from Leviathan? In the game against DRX, they were saving constantly. And it is the percentage play, when you're all the way over the other side of the map, you're very unlikely to win these kind of moments. But it must be so mentally difficult to deal with.
I think it's a really difficult decision to make because you can feel the series just ever so slightly slipping away from you, and you want to take those high-risk plays. You want to take a 2v3 fight, despite the fact that you're going to be losing positioning, just trying to retake it all.
I mean, you say slightly slipping away from them. XSET now have 7 rounds on their attack half of Split, and their composition looks good on defense.
Yeah.
It's clear that they have brought their A game today. And even in that moment where there's 20 seconds left and they have to barrel through, it looks like King and Adverso should be able to shut it down. And yet after getting the opener, there was no more. There was nothing extra.
Yeah.
They couldn't get the synergy together. Adverso was spamming out flashes from the back of the site, just couldn't quite catch the timing to trade King out. And you got Zek and BCJ barreling their way through. Much better performance today out of BCJ.
Yeah, off to a ridiculous start.
And still that nasty consistency from Zekin and Cryo.
A reminder as well, I mean, this is XSET's preferred map pick. When they get to play Split, they're often going to be picking it.
Arguably their best map.
Yeah. Got floated in the Optic game. I think Optic were trying to bait them.
Yeah. I mean, Optic aren't scared of any map.
No.
But the rest of the series, you're getting the best possible 3 maps for these 2 teams. I mean, all 3 of these maps, Split, Ascent, and Haven, are up at the top of both teams' map pools. This one should be the most one-sided map that we see. And if Leviathan are able to get back into it and give themselves some belief and some hope, could send the entire series cascading in a different direction.
Yeah, theoretically, this series, it should be heating up in terms of how even it is. Just with what we've been mentioning about the map pool, but a very slow beginning to this one.
And it looks like a full A retake kind of setup. They need to be cautious about Heaven. And Adverso was watching it for a moment. Now he returns back. But they have great ultimates to retake here. Rolling Thunder.
One of us! Oh, he doesn't have his weapon out! And he's been punished for it.
I thought Adverso's positioning was specifically to stop that, but apparently not.
30 seconds left.
He got caught completely off guard.
Not expecting to push through, and the coverage once more. The XSET players. Oh, they're finding all the space in the world. King just trying to capitalize. He tries to push past the smoke, see if he can rattle off a shot. Or 2 Melzer can't even get past. Has to just knife his way through.
Brutal.
Oh, and the shot's being baited.
The doorway not quite wide enough for Melzer. And he's just on his own. It looked like a round where they might have been able to do something with low economy. A Rolling Thunder, King had his ultimate as well. And King was still able to find 2 great shots with the Vandal in his hand. But this half has thoroughly slipped away from Leviathan. I mean, XSET are bringing a masterful game. And again, Brent, with only 24 hours to prep against this comp. Hey, maybe they already had it in the lab. Maybe they were planning to bring it out against an Optic or something like that. If they thought Optic were going to stick with the Neon comp, which they themselves have been moving away from. But nevertheless, I think this is extremely impressive.
You want to play?
Let's slower once more. It's been the tale of this map, honestly, just the constant back and forth descent of utility to push Takulia out of these deep positions.
Imagine being Takulia. You're playing for champions. You win this match and you make it to champions, overtake crew, and they're throwing utility at you and you can't have impact in the game.
You just can't do anything.
It must be so frustrating for these Leviathan players, the way that XSET is approaching their half right now. They've got them in a chokehold.
Final round of the first half. A couple of seconds obviously being bled away from the clock now. Down to the minute mark. Looks like it's going to be the end over towards the A side of things for XSET.
And BCJ's throwing the same utility that he normally does for a B burst.
Pulls the players over.
There's the smoke, the paranoia. This is a fake.
Yeah.
Taco finally finds the first pick, and he's anticipating more people, and they're just not coming.
Well, Taco getting that first pick is honestly massive for him. He didn't spot any other players. Honestly, they should know that this hit is coming in now onto the A side. You can see the fragment nade, the knife, spots out the remaining XSET players, and now time is running low for them. This is a beautiful round. Leviathan should be able to convert it.
Melzer was solo anchoring, just goes for a little info peek, worried about XSET moving away.
And XSET are so happy to just play a comfortable position, moving forward. Still though, the Rolling Thunder is catching, and it set them up beautifully once more. Shy with 2, all down to Cryo. Not enough time in the world, the overdrive popped off, a quick little glide to the side, stunned up.
10 seconds left.
Not going to be able to win this one out in the slightest. And that is going to be the 4th one on the board for Leviathan. Maybe, just maybe, Josh, it's enough.
It would have to be one hell of an attacker for Leviathan to get back into this game. I think XSET have got the wind behind them right now and are looking great on their map pick.
Yeah, dominant first half from XSET. Let's send it down to the analyst desk to break down all the action of what we've seen thus far. But sort of would be ideal, I think, if you're an NA fan. You know, a bit of a GG go next to get that advantage. But Leviathan are no stranger to comebacks. Ended up pulling off a bit of one against DRX in their final map in that series.
Yeah, they really made me believe that that was possible for them, and that was on the attack side as well. So I'm wondering whether that's going to be the key here. King's still been playing very well on the Neon, and Takulia's going to get more space, weirdly enough, on the attack. But now you see why they've gone for this Sage pick, I think. The slow and the wall instantly to try and halt the early round aggression from King.
Yep, just absorbed straight away, isn't it? All the taken out of the hit. Leviathan are pivoting now into a bit of a contact play. Stun into the flash into the corner, but Zekan's ready and waiting, and that's the nade. And bounding off.
The wall actually allowed Zekan time to rotate. He was playing for a fast A hit, and then when they ran up mid instead, the wall buys him enough time to rotate to beat Heaven. So they're very much, they have a thought process, XSET, behind what timing the wall is giving them. And what it's buying is Zekan's nade.
Such slow play now by Leviathan. They notice trademarks there. Looks like they want to try and burst into A, honestly, off the back of destroying it. Goes down. Space now can be gained as well. Bit of jiggle to try and see if they can get some positioning, but it looks like XL were ready and waiting for it still. Gonna be the 1-for-1. The Boombot did get on target. Stun sent across, scattered. Now the XL players completely grouped up. Adverso, you've got to be kidding.
30 seconds
That's
left.
an awesome play by Adverso. He's got his team back into it. Massive advantage, and Taco with the chamber head-to-head win. What a save by Adverso. He's been pretty quiet so far in this map, but in my opinion, he was their best player against DRX. On Initiator, able to get so much impact. Despite the loss, he was popping off. He had consistent value and damage. He was 12-2 in first kills to first deaths on Initiator against DRX. If he can have more rounds with impact like that, I might start to believe in the comeback.
Yeah. Might be enough to change it. The tide of this fight so far on first map of this series. Ready to fast play, stun. King not messing around. B hopping around. Making sure that he can poke, try and force a fight.
Meanwhile, on the A side of the map, actually, Zekan looking like he wants to go. Just jiggling for some information. On the A side of the map, they threw down a Viper Orb very aggressively in order to break Taco's trademark. So now that's actually pulled Shy over towards A ramp and weakened the mid hold a little. XSET moving their players to gamble stack on B.
Oh, it's right where they're ending.
And it's the right read.
Yeah. That's right where they're ending, isn't it? And look at this, holding a nade. Doubled up, holding the choke point.
With two shorties.
Two shorties in play, two shotguns, all the players moving towards it.
Oh, this looks gross.
Could be brutal. Time running low, the Leviathan players, they might be able to deal with this. They might be able to weather it. It's really hard for them though to stun. Doing a significant amount to try and slow down anything that might be happening. It's still disrupted, but one kill being found. King opens it up. Damage still done, and the players holding close to pillar. Well, they're dealt with easily enough.
That one looked dangerous on the minimap, but Leviathan made it seem like child's play, dismissing that one. King with his dash in, perfect to get past both of the players with shorties, and just commed it to the rest of his team so that Aaron only able to get away with a single one. Well done from Leviathan there to convert, though of course they're expected to win round 14. And now it's about how much can that momentum keep going.
Gonna keep the ball rolling. A conversion of the bonus round, I mean, exactly what they would need. Send the economy tumbling for XSET. They can manage to do it. Stun once more, sent flying, disrespecting the slow orb. I mean, King just went straight over it.
And the slow orb itself is not great against Neon Comps. You're relying on the wall, actually, to stop it. I was expecting it to come through there from Death, like it did in the pistol. But they've given them extremely early fence control. So maybe Death's got an idea of using this in the mid-round to block off B main or something like that.
Takulia at the same time was just trying to catch a bit of an angle. Lurking his way through. Trademark's going to be destroyed. Cryer now forced to just keep one eye on that one particular area on the ropes. XSET making the call here to try and contact Reclear through B main.
This seems a little dangerous to me, actually, but Zekken and Def are getting away with it, and they're getting a lot of good info. Def still has his wall if they just want to wall this off and drop back to B. But they're going for the over push?
No way, they're just pushing all the way deep. I mean, they're going to be meeting each other here. Knife out for King. Of course he doesn't anticipate that.
Yeah, very unexpected stuff. And you've got Adverso trying to catch a timing deep into their spawn.
He's in there.
While the rest of the players go to A.
He's running around. Aaron's going to be whiffing the shot there. Not going to be finding his mark. An approach coming in now with 25 seconds left. Leviathan want to be trying to get this spike down onto the A site, but the players, this is incredibly chaotic. A lot's been thrown into this, Josh.
Adverso had so many people running around into him. That's almost the third Leviathan player in the round that dies with their knife out.
A bit of overheating going on. Shy has got the world to test on, hasn't he?
Player standing.
Not the proper weapon for the job. Only grabbing the one, eventually traded. All up to Melzer. What can he really do? It's not even planted for him.
No opportunity there in the 1v4, and that is a sloppy round from Leviathan. Sure, it's just the bonus. It doesn't harm their economy, and they're still within 3 rounds. So it's not a tragedy by any means, but I think they had ways that they certainly could have played those moments better. No qualms with how King played this one, though, because, listen, holding on to that B main push, I think Zekken and Def found the
Melzer
perfect
was watching
time.
that for so long.
Yeah. But a bit of an unusual decision-making going on from Adverso and Taco. Maybe Adverso just being a bit poke committed back in their spawn there. And this looks like a very fast hit into B.
Players looking like they want to capitalize.
Nobody to meet them.
They got the weapons. A pull just in case there was a player holding at the choke point. So they're going to be using that slow orb and the nade. Clears through. And it's that push and pull of utility that they're just trying to get out of each other.
Yeah, interesting that there's no commitment off the back of that. It looked like Leviathan were going to go for it, but Taco on the other side of the map. And now that you see minute 14, they've stopped the first hit. Now the second wave, break the trademark, paranoia to re-clear out A main. And they're pretty confident that this isn't going to be an A split.
Def ended up rotating pretty early there, but now making his way back over to Heaven. I think he's realized there's a window of opportunity. They could already be up there, recalling it now with the Rolling Thunder. Scatters them again. The stuns just offloaded, even catching on to King there, but still damage. Oh, it's found. Zekken will fall, but Def, this angle is everything. He's being found. The shots just whizzing past his head, and Shy, oh, just wall to the wall, shoulder to shoulder. BCJ right next to him. He's found him in the end. It's just so awkward in which they're able to find these timings, but XSET have come up with the goods. 4 players left alive, but they're going to try and get themselves into the site, and they are finding them.
Oh, what a flick!
From every place, Melzer, it's all down to him! 3 kills! Surely he can't get the 4th. This would be absurd. What a salvaging around if he can make it happen, but he's intelligent with it. Rotates around, plays the positioning of the pillar, and time for the spike, and he gets it! Unreal scenes!
Did he just run at him? What an absurd way of playing that situation. I thought for sure it would be some kind of bait. Make the footsteps, try and dance around. What confidence! What skill from Melzer. He's only had 2 rounds where he's been able to convert these big plays into round wins, but they've been so important. I feel like I can hear the coach.
Oh my goodness. It's exactly what you need to get back into it if you're Leviathan. Exactly what you mean.
It's such an enormous round. The buy is slop from XSET.
Just trying to take risks off the back of it. Okay, 3 players drop down, including Shy to his knees. Weapons going to be exchanged. Try and remove him, which they do. This buy, despite being poor from XSET. Oh, it's come to fruition, Josh.
Yeah, the mid-crunch was just so good. And now Zekken with those kills gets his ult back online. Yeah. Taco takes him out. What a major kill for Taco to find. The paranoia doesn't quite hit.
You're walking into the middle of a judge, man, and still... I mean, the weapon, listen, it's good in some situations, but not that one.
What a bizarre round. I mean, from the very beginning, Leviathan have an economy advantage. XSET come up with a mid-crunch to try and punish. I mean, Zekken with an awesome play here, tucked in the corner, slaughtering people. But what on earth was this overheat from XSET trying to fight at the end?
Spikes down for you.
Yeah, if Zekken just repositions, they win that round 3v2 with the showstopper. And now, I would assume, Coach Psycho in his suit calling the timeout as his players are just overheating slightly and allowing Leviathan back into the game. This half has been 4-1 in favor of Leviathan, and they are certainly starting one of those comebacks, similar to what we saw on them when they were playing Haven against DRX.
It's a team that you don't want to let get that confidence underneath them.
Not at all.
You need to try and keep your leads. Psycho looking very serious.
And one of the big problems for XSET, actually, that's starting to rear its head again, they're losing these big clutches.
Yeah.
They can't convert on 2v1s, 3v1s, 4v1s sometimes seem like they're even not a sure thing for XSET. And they have the skill, obviously. You can see that throughout the majority of the rounds. They've got the skill to be able to go up. But something's breaking down in those end moments. Perhaps the communication flying all over the place. Either way, it's an issue that they need to solve, and it's an issue that the timeout will have sought to address.
Get right back into it, aren't we? Buys on either side. Maybe the Sage pick that, you know, Def's opting into, maybe the intention of it being to slow down a Neon, but so far, I mean, the slow orbs have just been disrespected every single time in mid for King.
Aaron's popping his pit here and has two players ready to defend.
King's up in ramp already.
Yeah, they had to react quickly because there was no Leviathan players in mid. And if Leviathan's Neon comp isn't taking mid control, they're running somewhere else. So you better go and stop them. Even using an ult from BCJ just to check whether or not a ramp had been compromised.
Yeah, the players are hiding now.
And it's a really cool trademark that Taco Lea's managed to put into the middle of the Viper's pit. So he knows, actually, there isn't a push, and Aaron is actually sat back in one of these really passive positions in B Heaven or in ropes.
Teleport's ready.
The information right now. Well, with the stars drop down on a fast lane, that's going to be the go button pressed for Leviathan. The nade, and look at that, the timing is off. Leviathan players happy to just run straight past it. Spike. Oh, the plan's coming through. Has to get off of it, though, with a showstopper. Rocket whizzing past, finding his way onto the site. No damage really being done other than King brought down very, very low. Double satchel plays. It gets over his head, and he's found two. Bit of a return, a swap around with the weapons, and Verso's got to come up with something huge. Him and Taco Lea, the angles, will they find them? The answer is no. XSET on the retake. A little bit too clean, a little bit too sublime.
That is classic Zekken. Wonderful blast pack usage. Gets over the top. Bamboozling, breaking the ankles of King, I think it was, in elbow. Flying over his head. And twisting it down onto another player, tucked in the corner, who never saw him coming either.
Yeah.
Awesome retake. Very nice. Even after his ultimate had failed. Look at this.
And he just breaks across that placement.
And you've got Shy there, who had no idea he was going to be in the line of fire.
Worrying about that the entire time, obviously. About that heaven push.
Pretty much the first retake that XSET have gone for, where they allow Leviathan into the site and try and pull something off against them. I think they specifically set that up with the showstopper. Leviathan have taken early B main control this time.
Yeah, that is a very high risk, potentially high reward play. Disrespecting the snake bite, gets vulnerable up, tries to take the shot, but just about gets away with his life, Josh.
Yeah. There haven't really been too many players towards screens for XSET, though. So I don't think Taco was likely to find anybody. The confidence from Zekken on this repush through mid.
Against a half by as well.
Yeah, as Cryo just holds the angle for him. If Zekken does get caught, it could be difficult.
Well, if I didn't, I believe they've been farming up orbs, so King's now got his overdrive. Popped his ult and he's handed the rifle off over to Adverso. They want to pop into A here, but BCJ is holding down one angle. Aaron, it looks like he's got a bit of utility out just in case with the snake bite ready and waiting. Pings are there. One way's going to start conveying any time. Now with the smoke popped up, they just spam through, anticipating it.
But it's only Taco that gets caught. Having said that, there are 4 players there. I think XSET are pretty confident in their read that this is going to be an A-pop.
Cryo's still watching that mid-angle as well, just in case the load comes through. Overdrive popped. King almost going down as he just tries to waddle his way straight past that choke point.
Do they have time to pivot through mid?
They're trying to pivot, I think, off the back of maybe Melza finding a bit of space as well, but they have taken a heaven control, but still they're split right down the middle, trying to find the angles, trying to find the players, but not enough. The weaponry just not there.
Yeah, Leviathan, nice try, but time ticking too low, and XSET had the read. I mean, when you see 4 players staring down the A push, You know XSET are hyper confident that they've got a good idea about what's going on. And Leviathan use Neon ultimate there. They got a Rolling Thunder with which to play with. The last time they had that Breach ult online, they went and took mid control and tried to do a B split. Breach ulting through Heaven. Neon stun towards back stairs. You may see something similar. And in fact, actually, when we can see the minimap, I can see somebody on XSET pinging that one out. So the defensive team already prepped for something like that.
Yeah, it seems like they're aware. This timeout from Leviathan, going to be coming up with answers. I mean, XSET, they took that one timeout, and it seems like just the entire tone of this map so far has just changed.
Yeah, Leviathan's timeouts have historically been fantastic. I mean, it's not just Owner. Obviously, Owner is not here. The legendary coach that took Crew to these massive results. He's not here. He wasn't able to attend. But Bitoni was the assistant coach from Crew, who was also involved in that.
Yeah.
And you're expecting a similar level of impact, honestly, because this coaching staff is good, and this coaching staff is proven for Leviathan. We'll see whether they can make the right adaptation, yeah, and come up with an answer here. I think it looks like they're set up for a B split again with the Breach ult. But as I said, I could see the little pings on the minimap. I knew that XSET were ready for it. They've got 3 players over there at the moment. I think there will be
a line of pings.
Yeah.
Seems like it might be.
And in fact, Cryo pinging out a line where he's going to be holding it with his ult.
Already. Versus not messing around. The ult sent flying. It looks like XSET, though, were ready for it, but the utility slightly off still. Cryo has the angle.
Exactly.
Pinged it out earlier. Read like a book, it feels like. XSET more than ready, but maybe the raw mechanical talent of Leviathan is enough to try and pull them ahead. Flash through, doubling, and just disrespecting the fragment nade. You don't expect that.
That's an awesome idea from Def and Aaron to swing through the smoke together. And also, full credit to XSET. It is Aaron that normally does the IGLing on their defensive half, but it could be any of the 3 big brains, Def, Aaron, or Psycho, that read that play coming. But they were orchestrating every little anti-strat there. They had players stacked over, they knew what utility they were going to throw, and they specifically put Cryo on the line to up Heaven.
Yeah.
Read like a book.
Layers upon layers to try and deal with that one. And now a fast play, something to try and disrespect it. Dev's been caught. Finally something in this trap. Leviathan, a play they've made a couple of times on his attack side, this time finding a critical pickoff.
These are the moments where XSET start to re-explore the map. They've been following the same pattern repeatedly here, even with the player down. I think they're going to go for an info play. Yeah, and it's Cryo looking towards mid. Once they stop the initial aggression from Leviathan, whether it's intended to be a full site hit or not, then XSET choose this timing, about 110, to start pushing deep. And you can see Cryo Zekken going for this play again. It didn't really get spotted last time, though. So we'll see whether Leviathan have an answer for it.
Gives some good information in the mid-round, but no players are going to be able to stop this if this pop comes through that Leviathan are setting up for.
And a reminder that against Optic, XSET won 0 out of 23 of these rounds.
Go, go, go.
Where somebody like Def died early.
The attempt comes through with a fast lane, gets the players in, a bit of spam here and there, which is definitely trying to be done. Whoa, the angle being held! Aaron's just hugging the side of the pillar, sidesteps it, Cryo's got him covered once more. It's going to be the trade online, a nade to deny the plant. There's 24 seconds left. Now you see that no command. Shy wants to just deny the abilities, the utility usage, being able to stop them, and Verso, what an angle being held, but still Cryo, how does he get it? Time and time again, this guy has been so consistent, and it could be enough. The damage, once and for all. King has to find something, and it's down to the 1v1 to keep them in this map. Half on the defuse, Bichette moves forwards, and he finds the shots in the end. The Red Bull clutch, 3 in a round, and Leviathan are still in it.
What a huge one from King. A desperate one as well. Leviathan are hanging on to this by a thread. They have had so many big individual moments. From King, from Melza, Adverso with a clutch as well. On the pistol, were able to take out so many players. I think King plays the situation perfectly with the Spectre.
Yeah. Just
run and gun with it.
Why not?
But if that's what it takes to keep them in it, look at how shoddy the buy is once more.
Just scraping by, aren't they? 2 for They'll trying to find a way back into the map. They can drag it to OT, but these risky plays starting to feel the other side of it. It's a double-edged sword, of course. You can find those pickoffs, but the damage is being done. Shy immediately pushed away. They don't lose any players, crucially.
And Aaron has no snake bites to defend this. It's only him with his weapon.
Utility popped off, stunned up, flashed up. Aaron really cannot see a thing. Cryo was trying to cover it. They're not really finding the shots, but still BCJ holding on the top of heaven. No one cleared him off of it. And the off angle by Aaron. You're never going to be expecting that. Crouched up on the box. It's all up to King and Taco Leah. The Viper's pit popped up. Def just hopping away, dodging, juking to the side. The player dropped down. It's all down to King. Can he keep them in the map once more?
He's been great in the clutch. Leviathan have been great in the clutch, but I don't think this one is doable, Brent. It would just require an absurd performance. XSET using the Viper's Pit, using the Resurrect, and this area's walled off.
12 health, 10 bullets. He doesn't want to reload, doesn't want to reveal where he is. No time on the clock. And they just spot him. The spam coming through. King reacts just a tad too late. He doesn't pay for it with his life, but at this point, it just feels done. And like that, XSET going to be claiming map number 1 in this series as elimination match between them and Leviathan.
And they looked really limp yesterday, but I think they're showing right now that they're a different team compared to the one that took the stage back then. And also, they're not playing against the defending champions. Leviathan are good, but that was the map where XSET are supposed to be favored, and they delivered. I think a special shout out to me from BCJ, because he's one of the players that stepped up the most. Brian, you said at the beginning of the cast, it wasn't Cryo and Zekken that were letting the team down. It was those players with all the experience. It was Def and Aaron and BCJ. Especially Def and BCJ in my head, and BCJ himself went crazy. Omen performance, masterclass.
Yeah. Bit of a roll swap for them, and it seems to have worked out in spades, hasn't it? They take the map that we expected them to take, but still, there's a long series left to be played. Donald never failed to make me chuckle. I mean, the guy, he's got some style, hasn't he?
Yeah, you know why he swapped his suit? He just sweat his way through the last one.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Go up against Optic, that tends to happen.
But I think also from Leviathan's perspective, they're not anticipated to win this map. This is XSET's choice, it's XSET's best, even though Leviathan are good here. And overall, they've proven that they can come back from pretty much any result. Okay, they're not winning these maps, but they are always making them close when it looks like they're completely out. Yeah. Against DRX now in map 3 and against XSET map 1, they've had those moments.
Well, let's go to a short break. Analyst that's going to be breaking down all the action of map number 1 and setting us up for map number 2 here in this elimination game, so don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it.
XSET, they're on the board. They pick up their first map win here at Masters Copenhagen. I'm Youngsu, I'm back with Mitch and Mimi. That was a great map for them, and I think we needed that to be a great map for them.
Yeah, we absolutely did. And for XSET, they come out with a new composition, and they look excellent with it. I really like that they made the pivot coming in towards this matchup. I was initially critical of them making that change. I was a little skeptical of it, but I think the Sage worked really well. King was definitely struggling to find value on that Neon, and as a general point, I think Leviathan was not really... They didn't get the XSET that they were expecting in this match.
Yeah, to be honest, it didn't even feel like they were as hard countered as I was expecting coming into this game.
Sure.
I thought that off the bat, we would see a massive shutdown of King, and altogether, he had a pretty good half. I mean, it was funny that we closed out the map, though, with him being countered, right? He had the wall blocking him out when he snuck up behind, so it technically did come down. But yeah, altogether, I wouldn't even put this down to Agents, right? It just XSET looked like the better team.
Yeah, they really did. And I mean, the reads were impeccable from this team, particularly on the defensive side. This one was awesome. They realized that the breach ult was in play. They have Cryo holding in the exact right position.
Yeah, they got the paranoia right afterwards. As soon as the pick comes in, smoke is blooming. And this was something that we saw at the very start of the round. We heard Sideshow and Brent call it out. These players were pinging down that line, and the line was exactly the line that the Rolling Thunder followed. They were ready for it, and that was an impeccable call by Aaron, who Mimi let me know calls on the defensive side. I also love that from teams, having the versatility to have two callers and then almost go, you know, I like the attacking side, you take the defense, really playing to their strengths.
Yeah, it really does. That's a perfect way to put it. It lets you play to what is best for each individual person's brain. And it wasn't just that round. The round before, there was also another really nice call from XSET. They had a great understanding of what they were playing up against coming into this matchup. So credit to their IGLs and to Psycho as well in that coaching position.
That was also a huge round because Leviathan were getting back into the game. They were coming in with the comeback, but also I got to say, we talk about shutdowns. Taco was massively shut down on that on that map as well.
Yeah, Taco was having a really tough match. If you compare it to how he was playing against ZRX just the other night, it was a world of difference. And on top of that, Leviathan as a whole, I think there was a couple coordination issues. We talked about that during the halftime, but there was kind of a reliance on the clutches throughout this. I mean, some great moments from them. Melser especially was stepping up, but it just wasn't the consistency that we wanted to see that we saw from that Ascent game versus DRX.
I mean, speaking of great moments, let's take a look at this from Zekken in the Verizon high-speed moment. Mitch, there were a few times that he popped off, but this was really something crazy.
Yeah, this was something else. You don't get to see a player just fly through the sky like that undetected all too often. King's sensitivity may be doing him dirty on that. You're not expecting to have to pull a full 180 when you're down there in the elbow, but this was opened up completely, and looking at it from the third-person perspective, it just looks even more ridiculous.
Yeah, and the coordination on it is really nice. You see the breach flash come towards the back lanes the second that Zekken gets on in. The retakes from XSET were really pretty good throughout this one. When that Neon was finding value, when they were getting the sights, XSET did a good job of giving up that space and being able to fight back in a few of those rounds.
Yeah, a lot of synergy there from the whole team all the way round. We've also got Zekken right here in the aim lab shoot around as he prepares for the next map. We talk about these younger players coming up.
Another one of those, of course.
Is Link a LAN or something? Like,
crosshair?
What is that crosshair?
So Zekken is the one who popularized the sus hair and the big. He is just known for having the stupid crosshair. So of course he shows up and is prepping on the aim labs with that one.
I'm not gonna lie, I've seen Link use this in game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's rocked a couple of games with probably worse than that, actually. No, definitely worse than that now that I recall. One big worry, though, looking at that previous map, right, you walk out with both pistols, a lot of clutches, and it's still that close of a game. I mean, Melser really put in some work here, surprised me in some of those rounds, and yet with that scoreline, it doesn't fill me with a lot of faith, I'll be honest.
Well, let's talk about the next map because we are going on to Ascent, and we've seen Leviathan on Ascent already. They looked insane against DRX. Mimi, do you expect them to repeat that here?
I'm not so sure, and the reason why is that XSET are actually really experienced against playing against that style that Leviathan likes to run on this map. It's actually the DRX comp that they are playing, that they beat DRX with, which is pretty cool. But it's the very same comp that Optic Gaming was running in the Grand Finals where XSET shut them down. Triple Initiator, it's a really cool idea, but once you know how to play against it, once you know how to work that push-pull, it is very much counterable. And we already saw from map number 1 that XSET is a team that is primed to make those counters happen. Still, it was a fantastic game. DRX obviously had a good plan coming in, and it didn't work out for them.
I'll say that in the previous map, Cryo was impeccable with some of the trap placement. The amount of information they were able to maintain because that trap was unchallenged. We would see eventually King go out and try to deal with it, but this map, I don't expect to see him have the same kind of leash where he has to stay alive to maintain that map control. If he's pulling out a jet here, the freedom that could give him could yield to some massive plays.
Well, we're into the Prime Gaming agent select here. It's all been locked in here, and Mimi, no changes.
No, Zekken does play the Sova on this one, which I think is interesting to a lot of players. When you just look at it, you think this guy's your star, this guy's your race player. He's flexing it over to the role, but he used to play Initiator a while ago, back when he was a free agent. This is a guy that he's not just a star. He is flexible. It's only this season in Stage 2 that Zekken was switching to the primary duelist role, so it works really well for him. And for Cryo, this is where he gets to play the jet. He gets let loose. It will be a testament if he can keep up that performance against this Leviathan team, who is really solid with that triple Initiator comp at shutting down star jets like RB.
Well, Leviathan, they couldn't quite take the first map, and they need this one if they want to stay in this tournament and make it to champions. Over to you, Brent and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, Sue. Yes, let's get right into it. Map number 2, and the desk set it up beautifully, haven't they? Elimination game, XSET versus Leviathan, and Leviathan playing for the hopes and dreams of South America as a whole. The final team from that region, or from that group of regions, I should say, that are left here in the tournament at Copenhagen.
Yeah, your only Brazilian team grouped, crew grouped, and it's on to Leviathan to try and bring it back for South America. And this is the map where they looked so good against DRX, running the triple initiator comp that they're going to stick to here again. And I think I need to see another monster game from Takolia. He was quiet, he got shut down in map 1. But now that he's got the space, and in theory Leviathan have the utility advantage, Leviathan need Taco to come online.
The stage should be set for it, right round the corner. Not only the frenzy, but still, King's able to make it work right across into heaven on top of it. Look at that dart, and it spots out the positioning of Cryo. It It's immaculate. VCT, an instant response from him to try and take control of A main away from them, but that's also been shut down. Ready and waiting.
Excellent stuff.
Spike planted.
Really cool pathing on the pistol round. Trying desperately to find the head. Yeah, that is a ghost moment. Awesome pathing though. They go for a cat push. They go all the way up through heaven, and King swings around on top. And it's
Kick the fragment out of the way as well, I think, ever so slightly.
It's the aggression from Leviathan and the confidence that works so well for them with this triple initiator comp. You know, there are teams that play this same composition that cannot get things going on their attack half at all. Very good teams that can't make the attack half work. I'm thinking Optic in particular here. But with Leviathan, it seems like they've got confidence, they've got a good idea of what they want to do in the rounds, and there's a lot of set cascading utility.
Aggression being shown just through main, but yeah, the comfort levels on this composition, Leviathan definitely. They have a good grasp and idea of how they want to play this one. And look at that, Takalea is just trying to bait out, see if there's any aggression towards B main. He already knows that there was a player lurking around there because his trademark was broken. He backs away, and this is just Leviathan trying to minimize their risks, trying to minimize giving away any guns.
We saw XSET win round 2 and break the bank, break the momentum for Leviathan early on. But that was when they were on the attack half, able to group up. And this time it looks like they're going for a bit of a gamble stack over towards A, which is not going to be the correct read. Despite Leviathan's comeback on map 1, the defensive side calling did look excellent. But sometimes when you take the gambles, it's just not going to work. Sure, the turret finds them, but there is no way that XSET are going to be able to respond to any of this. No chance. And just look for a moment at the amount of utility these site anchors potentially are going to have to deal with.
Yep.
All of that came in there. A horn, a recon dart, a flash back into the site, a prowler into the site.
A dart if it's online.
It's too
insane.
Much to deal with. Adversa was droning in too. Yeah, the triple initiator comp has so many tools to make it incredibly difficult. And the site anchors for XSET are going to be Aaron and BCJ. They're going to get tested.
You have to find ways to wiggle your way around all the utility, maybe just by making sure that they use it early enough that they can't go for those wholesale executes. This is just an attempt by XSET, see if they can grab a couple of these exits.
They might start to believe here. Unfortunately, there's nobody that can really get into the site. The time is ticking.
Time is ticking, yeah. So, yeah, not much else for Zeka to do other than just to go down to the spike. But Leviathan getting off to a fantastic start. Josh, we mentioned it, we spoke about the map picks. The way that this has ended up shaken out between both of these teams. They do float each other's maps that they prefer to play, like to play. XSET have been floating Ascent. It ends up being played a lot by Leviathan. This is a map pool that, honestly, if you're just looking at the strength of it from either side, we should be going to a map number 3.
Yeah, and you're getting the best from both teams as well, which is
truly
not always the case with these map vetoes. But Leviathan have a long way to go to push it to Haven. Coming into this bonus, doesn't look like they're going for any major early round aggression. Only 3 Spectres as well. It's not the greatest, but Takalea's got the Headhunter, and he just loves using that weapon. You'll sometimes see him using the Headhunter over the main weapon that he has available.
Yeah.
He has the 3rd most kills per round with the Headhunter out of everybody in the tournament.
That's astonishing. Really leaning into this one. Leviathan ended up just using, I think, both of their shock darts early on in this round, straight down mid, but they still didn't find the alarm bot. In fact, turrets pulled back as well, so Aaron's going to be able to keep that one. Facing the side, just about jutting out. Something has to be used to try and push them back, and Cryo, well, he's opened it up. Oh, finds 2 picks, still going to get ran down at the end. Shy does find the target that he was looking for. Market control going to be gained, but the amount of damage that these players are taking, it's looking like quite a mountainous task ahead of them.
Yeah, very good crossfires from XSET. Could be dangerous, not quite. This one looks fairly clean. Well dealt with by XSET. They're stopping the players from getting into the site before they can even take the first step.
Sure.
Spamming from the CT smoke alongside Aaron spamming from lane. And even though Cryo eventually went down in market, take a look at these kills he was able to get on the B split. Finding Adverso peeking before the utility, and that's the big problem there. They're using the Haunt and the Prowler, but they're swinging beforehand. And that's where your Jet is going to find the timings. Trying to get in front of the utility instead of running away from it. Which is why sometimes duelists can be the answer against heavy utility calls.
Just taking the fights, taking the timings against them. A lot offloaded. Prowler and a Shock Dart just through A main, making sure they can grab that orb. And King, he's got his no command online off of it.
It's a major tool, especially when you're considering.
No. Okay, just behind the wall.
And it looks like XSET might want to go for some catwalk aggression here, trying to bail Cryo out of an uncomfortable position. Def's starting to make his way towards there, but instead putting up a one-way, just happy with what they've got so far. I'm wondering what Aaron would do if a null command came flying at him over on the B site. Because he doesn't have any tools to be able to deal with it. Instead, though, it's Cryo finding a pick over towards Tiles. He's just been there for a minute.
God, I mean, I feel for the observers. We were on his camp for so long. We were just watching him, ready and waiting. Unfortunate timing on that one. Still, these players are dropping one after the other.
Yeah, it's rough. Leviathan expected there to be multiple players fighting in mid because Cryo was so late round contesting it. And instead, there are players still ready for that A lurk. Adverso gets nothing done.
20 seconds left at this point. What is the play? What do you do?
You save. I mean, this is an economically crushing round if Leviathan lose it. So you need to keep these guns online. Def,
in the percentage play.
Def can go for this.
Yeah. They have...
I mean, Def has no money, but the rest of his team...
Sizable money on, yeah, with the rest of his team. They could buy him. So these guns, Leviathan, they've got to hold on to this one. Every advantage they can get. It's just being jiggled perfect in terms of the way that Def was clearing that. And he backs away. Not too greedy.
Yeah, really nicely played. And Leviathan were caught slipping there. They didn't expect Cryo, with 50 seconds on the clock, to still be tough in the middle of B.
Of course not.
And then there's a reactive push from Adverso, who's thinking A must be weak because there are people in mid. But that's not the case. It was just Cryo on his own. And these are moments where Cryo should be getting caught by utility, but he's managing to dodge it and evade it. And that's 2 rounds back-to-back now, where Cryo's been the difference maker, weaving past the utility and taking aggressive fights.
Think about what these aggressive mid plays do. As we're on there, half by for Leviathan, obviously plenty of opportunities for them to potentially make something of it, especially that Taco Leah gets that tour de force online off the back of that Olor. But when you have Cryo making these aggressive plays, you're forcing this triple initiator comp to use the utility to potentially clear him out of those angles. You're not going to have it for those big hits.
Yeah, that's a great point. The more that Leviathan feel they have to use their utility early, the weaker the side hits get, and that helps BCJ and Aaron.
This time, though, respect being shown. Right around the side, Def just tries to get info, jiggling it, and Takalea, he capitalizes.
Can't be affording those first deaths. Brutal for Def in their game against Optic.
Yeah, no command. Offloaded now, just trying to work their way through the fragment. Close quarters. Melzer on the high ground. That's Cryo dealt with. They have found an advantage and they have grasped it. Spike going to be going on a bit of a tip-tap when it comes to the play. Still, they've lost Adverso and damage is being done. This is getting a little bit dangerous now for Leviathan.
Second almost with another as well. And these angles that he's spamming, you can tell he's very comfortable on Sova, but they don't have big tools to retake here. No drone, no paranoia.
No way.
Sector just keeps finding wallbang kills.
I mean, this is just raw instinct. Spamming the common angles and finding the players. He's brought it to the 3v3, but time now starting to tick. It's up for the Leviathan players to come up with something huge. Taco Leah, what is that? Collateral, the spacing not there. A bit of spam, a 1-2 tap. Zekken almost salvaging it, but eventually they find it.
What an absurd round from Taco and Zekken. How Zekken was able to make that one close, I will never know. But the man's got a hidden instinct for where players are going to be on the other side of things. But it's Taco that's the star. And it's Taco that had to step up. These kills are absurd, but look at the collapse.
Oh, wow.
BCJ and Aaron just pushing through, and Taco's on an off angle. Tackle was the star player for DRX. Oh, sorry, against DRX when they played Ascent. And he's got to do it again to keep them alive in the tournament.
Has to put up the kills, has to put up the numbers. They need him to.
Otherwise, they're going all the way back through LCQ as well. This game means even more to them than just life at Copenhagen.
But offload a utility early on, drone now being used. So we approach that minute mark in the round. Cryo has found himself an operator, so that's going to be locking down the mid approach. Melzer, you tagged up there, a bit risky.
See, these are the moments in the round at about a minute where Def, as a player with an IGL brain, really wants to go and grab more information. Zekken, with the drone, goes over and spots out B main. Cryo's in quite a passive position with the operator, rather than hunting for that info on the push himself.
That's quite far back.
But I like this. Instead of going for the jiggle peek and trying to find information with your eyes where you might end up dying, they're using the tools available to them, the drone, the knife, the operator locking up angles.
Weird approach now. Prowler comes through, Cosmic Divider split it across, it baits out the no command, but the spike is in a completely different place.
This is not an A split.
And now there needs to be a bit of pace, I think, injected into it. Leviathan wiggling their way through. They haven't actually found any space just yet. It's still Aaron and Zekken holding it down. The off angle, the approach, Aaron sprays it down. And two heads are found. Nightfall scattered through. Zekken's, just deafened, can't hear a thing. And they have come out with miracles, but it's still not enough. No time to get the plant down. XSET going to be carrying away this round, and all BCJ has to do is stay alive for the Red Bull clutch.
What a major round for XSET to come away with, and all they had to do was take the timeout. Leviathan there playing with the triple initiator comp, trying to bait players into making mistakes. And when the time ran low, it was an interesting fake. But they just didn't have what it took to get through onto the site. Major play by Aaron. And I'm surprised that the reaction was that mellow, honestly, from Psycho.
He's chilling, isn't he?
Yeah. But this is a very tense game, and Leviathan had opportunities there to maybe steal the round away. I think, though, you're seeing a key adaptation. You want to have Cryo be the player that face checks in these rounds and fights for duels. The rest of the team for XSET gathering info with their utility.
The knife castle and the drone, the fight being taken by King. He's rewarded. Gets the pick off. Haunt straight down mid once more.
What a timing that King caught on Catwalk.
Yeah.
Before the one-way was even active. BCJ just had his smoke in his hands.
I'm going to say a couple of times now I've noticed as well, Leviathan have been sending that shot card down, but this is a re-clear. Flash, anti-flash position paid by King. It doesn't even matter. Is there going to be a punish? Hunter's Fury sent flying. Somehow Def gets that kill onto Shy through the Fragmentators on top of it.
Yeah. Even though Def does get punished in the end, that re-clear on Catwalk was beautiful.
It's down to it once more. The Hunter's Fury dodging, juking, sidestepping. 3 shots rattled off, fired away. Nothing being found.
And that's also Zekken using the ultimate before Leviathan get to the plant. With time pressure, he could have used that ultimate to make Cryo's job a lot easier. Instead, he'll be asked to find an entry.
It's going to
stay alive.
The responsibility of trying to shut this one down, but it's a slow, cautious approach by Leviathan, not wasting any time with this. Now the tempo has been turned up. The spike dropped to the floor. They just have to clear him out. But this is Cryo you're dealing with in playoff form.
And he's such a beast. He's so consistent with it. The way that he takes these fights, he didn't have the correct crosshair placement necessarily. Wasn't expecting those players to be in so deep. And yet he adjusts very quickly. And even when he got jumped on in the end, he was fine. How on earth did the fragment grenade find this kill? I mean, Shy was just weak, I guess.
Yeah, just the first burst of it, I suppose.
Yeah, he clipped it. That readjustment onto Melzer is gorgeous. People enjoy their Spanish trash talk.
Of course. Beautiful language. It's very emotive. Leviathan on the half fight here. An opening would be sublime, but it's just being covered. Every avenue, every approach, weapon picked up. Dodging, juking a BCJ. Oh, he slightly dodges it. He slightly misses the mark there. Drops the the door down, so he actually has given an opportunity for Takolia to get into this one. Spam through into the wall. Takolia could have made something off of it.
But not quite. And Leviathan have not been having too much success on these eco rounds. They tend to just spill out into a site. And it was a little too easy there for BCJ to deal with. It is a great spray transfer, though, onto Shy. Overall, I'm still missing that level of aggression and the coordination from Leviathan. They're getting pulled to pieces here on Ascent. And we've already seen them take down an awesomely good team at this tournament on Ascent. DRX hadn't lost it in 18 maps in a row until Leviathan won. We know they're capable.
What an interesting play. One-way setup, flash over the top, BCJ teleports, and there's a recon dust, so he tries to spam them through his own smoke.
Yeah, it's a crazy good one. They pulled it out in the grand finals against Optic as well. Great set play. Doesn't quite catch a kill this time, though.
Yeah, Leviathan are able to weather it. We saw on Split, all they need is one big pop-off moment, one big round to get the confidence back. Get themselves back in that driving seat.
And Leviathan are really struggling with Catwalk here. They need to get through a one-way. There's Def looking to potentially re-clear as well, who also has a fragment grenade to stop it. I'd love to see Leviathan go for a proper A-split, but they never have Cat and A main control at the same time. They just can't find the timings to get past Def and BCJ. On the other side of things, Takolia's walking back potentially into Cryo's op angle, which doesn't look pretty.
Knife gets used for mid-round information. Approaching that 30 seconds. Cryo holding it down. You're starting to see a bit of a play being made. The jiggle just debates it out. The alarm bot's still active though, and now that gives the timing. They know this is a B split coming through. Nana Swarm stops them from just walking their way into the site for free. More time just being bullied and burnt away off the clock, but the player's still barreling through. Leviathan, can they find the options? Can they find the openings? It's a 2v2 with time dropping down. 7 seconds remaining. Spike in the process of being planted. A bit of a spam. The angle. Takolia was just waiting, hidden around the corner. All down to BCJ, but Leviathan, they're primed and ready. And they take down BCJ and they claim the round.
That's such an important one for Leviathan to get themselves back into contention here. Got to question what Cryo's doing at the backside, taking that shot and opening himself up to anyone else that's around. Cryo had knives online. If he stays alive in backside there and just waits for BCJ, he's got a fantastic position.
Pincer them.
But okay.
Leviathan, they grasp it. The opportunity was presented to them. That's what it's about.
And they took control. And these B splits do look really good. The utility usage is excellent from Leviathan. We saw it on one of the rounds where there was nobody anchoring, but that was difficult for Aaron to stay up and get anything done. And now King, null command online, makes this round very dangerous. Tons of spam there, actually, as Aaron was trying to punish him for picking up the orb. Barely does it. Barely grazes him with a bullet, though.
Drone down mid, Cryo's been pushed up into it. Smells going to be able to punish it. The knife dodges to the side. Shakhtar not going deep enough again to remove the alarm bot. Slowed it down now.
And is this one of the rounds where Leviathan are going to be able to use the null command and get into a post-plant situation with time on the clock? Time has been a big problem for them so far, but there is still 50 seconds left. As long as they can stop Cryo from picking off players.
You are divided.
He could go double updraft. They've Cosmic divided him off.
Yeah. Even a nightfall being used in the pull into the back of the site. No players really waiting in that position. They are running for a double updraft right from the top. Not finding any mark, and the null command is going to be coming out as that second layer of the Leviathan attack.
How do they deal with a lockdown retake? That's my question. Is Leviathan going to try and get aggressive here and burst their way into tree? The door opening.
Yeah, opened up now, but still the kills. House is flooding in for XSET. How are they finding the advantage with the lockdown now placed? The time pressure is on. Spam through the smoke, a flash around the corner. The players, the positioning, it's just immaculate. A flawless approach on the retake by XSET.
Yeah, so well done there. Leviathan didn't have an answer for the second question posed in the round. Sure, they got into the post plant with a null command, but how do you respond to that? I think there was a player ready to reflank through Catwalk, but XSET ultra diligent picked them off. for the Prime Gaming Flawless. You can just see the X there at the top mid position.
Yeah. And this is a different looking XSET compared to what we saw from them. A match against Optic.
Let's go! Nice and calm, baby. Get it going.
You can feel it.
I did
Confidence
not hear a single moment like that from them when they were playing against Optic.
No.
Maybe there were a few half-hearted cheers, but not that level of confidence and almost a feel like you're in control of the game.
Sure.
We've seen Leviathan come back in maps, and we've seen them win on this one too. Their defense side looked really good at stopping those jet entry plays.
Still capable of doing so, Josh.
But how many do Leviathan need? Is 4 enough? Should they be, you know, I mean, obviously they're going to be aiming for 6, but do they need 5, 6 rounds to get back into this? Maybe 4 an attack is enough to work with if they can grab the pistol too.
That's possible. Timeout's going to be used to try and find some change up and adjustment to it. They've really been struggling, I think, to just deal that pressure into mid constantly. It's like a shark dart that gets offloaded, but they never really been able to find this alarm bot. This time it's a little bit deeper from XSET on a defensive setup, so...
Yeah. You know, normally I'm a big fan of going down mid, breaking the alarm bot, playing the slow defaults, etc., etc., create some pressure in that area. But I'd just like to see Leviathan rip it on an A split at some point and really put the squeeze on Def and BCJ. Def, in fact, not over there at the moment. And this is, of course, an eco round from Leviathan due to all the damage that's been done to them previously.
Takalea's always going to have that tour de force. Feels like he does save it for these rounds where the economy's just not that good for them.
Yeah.
So he's always got that threat in their back pocket that they can rely on, and this angle that he's watching. So narrow. No player's really going to be watching for that information. Maybe you might see a jump peek from the back of the fountain, back of the well.
Yeah. Taco, the only player that went positive in the series overall against DRX. But we haven't seen those awesome moments from him. Almost since kind of that last time he played Ascent. Really overachieving in his debut map. And has been shut down since then.
Now the utility just starts to collapse onto Cryo, who's holding down that angle, including BCJ, who was just trying to anchor. Force the TP back, and mid-control has been gained. Takalea locking down the angle. There we go. The kill goes his way, but suppressed means doesn't have the ult taken away from him with 30 seconds left. Time now starting to run low.
But this is where the Leviathan utility looks at its peak.
Have to take care of these players, though. Still swinging through. Aaron should not be allowed to survive, but he's claimed 2 kills. And the backup from the rest of his team, well, it comes through in the end.
And XSET able to hold on. Can Leviathan put 1 more on the board here? 5 rounds on a Ascent attack would be quite reasonable. A decent half from them. They just didn't have the tools to be able to work with Takalea flooding out through market, trying to make space for the rest of his team with only a headhunter, and the shades have come back.
Yeah, okay. Don's got the aviators out. He's feeling confident, more so than before, I guess.
And I think there's good reason to be confident as a set repper right now. But they still need this last one, I think. An 8-4 half, you're feeling really good on Ascent defense, but 7-5, and we've seen what Leviathan can do. This time, working their way down mid quickly. Alarm bot will be broken here as King walks into it.
Yeah, Paranoido cutting across off of it. Means they have to respect it. Just a bit of a play that was triggered off of it.
And despite Def using his 0 point to cancel the drone, it still saw Cryo. The drone still saw him. So Dash burnt in this round. They can maybe be a bit more confident now that Cryo won't go for those aggressive re-pushes or an aggressive peek as they hit a site. But they're still not in position to go for an A split.
No.
It looks more like the spike is going to go back over towards B.
Yeah, they want to end there, it seems like, with 2 players just holding back down mid. The B splits. They've been looking better, I think, for Leviathan.
Yeah, they've
so
been
far
looking
on his
fairly
attack
good.
side, so this could be the option they're looking for. And honestly, good timing for them.
Yeah, straight after this recon dart would absolutely be the best timing. Adverso is a long way away with the spike, presumably playing off his Sova ult.
Yep,
here it
we
comes.
go. Popped off there. Zekken just trying to dodge Duke. Sidestep it. Right into it. Finds Zekken. The timing. 2 tags, but the timing right from behind. Def. Well, he's caught it. It's a beautiful one at that. 2 kills found. The players still not finding their mark. Still not finding their way into this. The spike is just stuck. And Melza, the big wraparound. He's caught it. Into market. Cryer from the back. Still only 10 seconds, and it's their biggest enemy. Josh, time is their biggest enemy over and over again. No opportunity to stick the plant. And the 8th round is claimed for XSET at the end.
And overall, I've got to say, that's a pretty disappointing half from Leviathan, I think. 4 rounds might be doable for them, but the way in which they lose that, Def just running behind them from Cat, slipping past Melza. I think Shine King thought that was Melza behind them.
That's absurd.
And the spike was so late to get into the site because Adverso had it in tiles. And facepalm is the right emotion to be showing there, I think.
It's an emotion, is it? It's a first for me, Josh. It's a first for me. Still, that is going to do it for the first half. We're going to send it down to our analyst desk to break down all the action and set us up for the second half of Ascent. A lot of pressure indeed, and it all comes down to this for Leviathan.
They've played under pressure. They've played under pressure before, and I think that that's what, you know, Batoni will be saying to them here as well. They've overcome a lot of their mental weaknesses in the past. They've choked many times before, and finally look like they've got over that, delivering us some good comebacks. And as the Des said, 3 out of 3 so far in the pistol rounds. They need to go 4 out of 4, though.
Quick wrap around here for XSET now on this one. The utility was sent out early.
Oh, a bit of a counter call, perhaps.
Yes.
They were definitely making the rotate.
Maybe.
I can't think what would have given them the read there to go back over towards A. Maybe just a gut feeling from Def or one of the other players offering up their suggestion.
But no noise being made. Are they just going to swing through? Yeah, no utility being used to clear through this. Facing it with all their players. Stars drop down. Melza wants to try and stop this in its tracks before it gets messy, but the utility is being held by XSET. The burst is going to come through shortly afterwards. Smoke comes down on top of the pull. Looks like Leviathan are ready for it. Can they get the kills? The vulnerability being applied, and now they found it. The Ghost doing significant damage, significant work, but they have to deal with these players up close and personal. Down to Zekken. 1v2, 44 health.
They have no idea
where he is. He closed the door. He's timing this one. Just finding it though, but the double swing should be enough, surely. Dodging and juking Shy. He's got it in the end.
And Leviathan do in fact take 4 out of 4 of the pistol rounds in this map, in this series, sorry. Which is an astounding stat considering that XSET felt comfortably in control on split. And are still leading here on Ascent as well. Zekken had an opportunity if he'd just been able to grab one of the kills on the first one. But now for Leviathan, it's about converting on this momentum. They have so many tools to work with on this defense half. We saw it, how much they punished RB trying to get into the sites. You have to dodge a recon dart and a haunt coming through, and there's nades at your feet combined with the gravity wells. And not just that, but Taco and Adverso have been pretty excellent in terms of first kills.
Pistol has set them up beautifully. Tagulia. Good angle being watched. Still disrespecting it as well. Holding his ground, even though he's got the teleport to just evacuate at any point. Still wants to lock this. Turret's catching it. Okay, this time respect being shown.
And XSET look like they're playing extremely passively here, just ticking the time down, seeing if they can grab anything. But really, when you look at their economy, they barely bought anything coming into this round. No, they're not trying to win it. It's not like they have light armor sheriffs.
It's these rounds where they're trying to gather a lot of the information for which to make calls on later. Find where trademarks are being played, the position of certain players. You often see it. It's just information gathered and then a play cooked up on the following round once they get the buy and the weaponry under their belt.
But I don't think this round will have given them anything specific to work on for the future. King could be in a dangerous position, but instead deals with Cryo quite easily. It's all left onto Zekken's shoulders again.
That's what you want to see.
With a little prime game in Flawless. Yes. Very good at the opening halves.
It's brought them right back into it in terms of the scoreline. Just about 2 more rounds, obviously, and they'll be even. But being consistent at these pistol rounds, winning the bonus here would be fantastic for Leviathan. One more way to get them back into it.
Left.
You take a look at their defensive position, Bren, though, and in terms of what XSET will be learning, I think that looks all fairly standard. They had Adverso playing towards mid, they've got the Fade and the Chamber over on B at the beginning of this. Some B-main aggression perhaps here though from Leviathan on the bonus round as they take 3 players and the drone
all the way through to get a tag onto Aaron. Still, Nade's going to be stopping that push right in its tracks.
And is there something reactive coming out from Dev, from Cryo?
Call's being made now, but the players have only just got into position, and Melzer can do some serious work right now, some serious damage to pull as he hears the footsteps just backing away for but a moment. The paranoia will be connecting, but Takulia, maybe he can do something. Dashing to the side, Cryo. Oh, it's just instinct once more, finding the shot. The targets are falling rapidly at that.
Taco found one and was able to reposition, but King going in to try and support the swing up through heaven. And it's falling to pieces here for Leviathan. That's the A-split that I was looking for from Leviathan on the attack half. Well executed from XSET. They realize that there's a push coming out of B main, react, and take 3 players over the catwalk, drone out into A main so that they have that control. And yes, even though Zekken died to Taco hiding in wine, they still had Aaron pushing through. And they caused huge amounts of pressure there for Melzer, for King.
It's so hard to deal with.
It's very difficult.
It's every single avenue when the players are just trying to lock it down and hold it down on the site. No way,
oh,
man.
That's disgusting.
No way.
I mean, Shy's soul leaves his body there. That's just not even allowed a crumb.
They're just trying to play for those exits, but
it's a bit of a blow for Leviathan, not being able to do anything on the bonus, not even an economic advantage heading into round 16. They need everything they can get to make this comeback, even though they're great on the defense side.
Yeah, not too many more rounds left in the buffer to try and stop that. I mean, that is absurd. Just committing the spray into that box, making sure they can't get a scrap of it. But now you see it, the Odin in play. Spam off the rip just in case there's any players just holding that one particular angle.
2 players suppressed at least. They spotted Taco, I believe. And so XSET are now going to look to pivot away. Smoke allows them to cross. And this, honestly, it looks pretty similar. Some early B main aggression. Find out that there's aggression happening there with the chamber and move away, run away from Taco. Go for an A-split again.
But this off angle by King could be everything.
Can he keep it up when there's A main aggression? What a flash.
Orthodox angle, yes, but a bit more, I think, in terms of just its expected angle. Melzer, the reposition, and the angle is impeccable. 2 kills just to the side of his own smoke, but he does go down. At the end of the day, the drone straight through the choke point, get a bit of info, see if they can get a tag as well. XSET now left scrambling, scattering.
Still 40 seconds to work with, though. That's the advantage of XSET playing fairly quickly at these early rounds. Recon Dart burnt here from Adverso, just letting him know that there's nobody in B main right now. But I think they could have deduced that anyway. They'd only just heard Zekken taking the ult orb in A.
A deep knife. He's going to force Shy for the rotation.
I think Def's going for a fake here, though.
Yeah, he is. All it took was a knife as well in his presence, and it seems to have just brought 2 players over towards it. Cryo, he's found King. His entire job just to lock down that angle, and with the recon dart against the wall, Takulia, he's got to respect it. Spike, though, has to be planted, moving around, finding the timing of one another. What a shot! Right to the side, flicks it down, and it's down to Zekken. Dropping onto the ground, Shy has got him. And now that the fuse can be stuck, they know that Def is nowhere near.
And Adverso finishes him off with the recon dart too. It was a great pivot, I think, from XSET in the middle of that round, but Leviathan dealt with it thanks to a fantastic play. I mean, Takulia, even with all of the discipline there that XSET showed, using the recon dart, not peeking until the recon dart had its full first pulse, Taco still has the confidence to get into sight, drop, and hits the shot with the headhunter.
This guy performing under pressure.
Overall too, I mean, you didn't see it in the replay, but that's twice now that they found value out of hiding in wine. Melzer doing what he did on Split, winning a huge round to keep them in the series.
Just a slight reposition.
Get out of my way.
Fighting at that kind of team, they're willing to take those risks, and look at this! Bit of a play being made, the recon dart! They're all lit up, have to try and avoid it. The Caesars well did significant damage with the Odin spam, but no kill is going to be claimed.
That's such a cool strat. They ran it against DRX as well, but just the same way, it doesn't actually net them anything. A bit of damage chipped onto BCJ. That's weird. Oh, that was the turret shooting towards bottom mid, in fact, even though it was looking catwalk.
A bit of a weird one, but now a bit of pace once more. Hunter's Fury. It's going to be the knife as well, denying that one. But second look, he's got that tag and he's predicted the movement. Shy, he's fallen. A teleport away. What is King going to do? A play has to be made, and he swung with the perfect, most impeccable of timing.
But Cryo Zekken have still delivered for them already. It's up to Adverso making a play again. Does he anticipate?
He doesn't want to spam. He was handed a free kill there. He could have spammed through the box, but he didn't want to do it.
Zekken, the hero, shutting down play after play that Leviathan have gone for.
How has this happened? The patience from Adverso there. He's just holding in case he could find a second player. I do respect it, a bit of discipline. It's again, a risky play. Melzer now left in an impossible task, isn't it?
It seems like too much, especially with Def hanging around next to Market. Any weapon that he could have got there would have also been good. But it's XSET that get up to double digits and are now 3 rounds away from progressing, from killing the narrative.
You are divided.
Look how good this trade is, though. Zekken comes in and kills King, and Cryo is already, even though we're only seeing the back of Zekken's head, Cryo's head, as he gets punished, Cryo ran in with the knives and got a kill. So they actually end up going 2 for 2 there, despite how good it looked from Leviathan's point of view.
The tale of this series has been, honestly, I mean, Leviathan have made it, you know, close at times, winning out these pistol rounds. Occasionally coming up with the goods, but XSET have just been that one step ahead, the layers to their play, and sometimes you got to disrupt it. Takolia taking a swing out straight into Cat. Not much to support him. A couple of shock darts on top of it right at the choke point. The players are dropping like flies.
What a thrifty round this would be. Immediately after winning a crucial economic swing round, they pull this one out.
I mean, this is Leviathan, isn't it? That's what you can expect with this team. Able to find those moments.
They're scrappy. They never give up. And they're willing to take the risks as well. I think that's part of it. Taco pushing all the way out into tiles. Or, you know, Upcat to look towards tiles. Past the turret, too. And Melzer and Adverso continue to craft some interesting setups and ways of making this triple initiator comp work.
Yeah. A little jump peek there from Adverso just to get information. Knows the Cryo's there. Obviously, that's why he's using the drone. But with this little time left in the round, XSET doesn't really want to go for something here. Maybe confidence is running high, but honestly, the percentage play might just be to save these weapons and move it into the next.
Yeah, it's definitely the best idea to go for a save. A couple of their players are running low on credits. And it looks like Def is just holding this.
Oh, wait. I mean, hello? The Hunter's Fury going to be used at this point?
10 seconds left.
So uses Hunter's Fury?
I mean, I am just perplexed at this.
Was that a fat finger?
Possibly intentional, I'm not too sure. Trying to follow up, trying to remove these guns. Listen, can't think about it. Not just yet, but a spray tower from Def. He will eventually fall, but not before doing a bit of damage. At the end of the day, Josh, though, it's still good to buy. Yeah.
The damage wasn't actually that important there from Def towards the end. He was just trying to keep his own gun alive. Because XSET now have a very weird situation. I mean, we're seeing Adverso getting the kills in this round. I'm interested to know what was going on with the Hunter's Fury. Did they really think that Cryo and Def were still a threat in the 2v4 there, perhaps?
I mean, but then either a threat or knew that they were trying to save in that location. The knife did spot them.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a play to try and clear them out of the angles and take the guns away. They went for it.
But perhaps just some nerves coming into things as well, as Leviathan are facing elimination if 3 rounds go the way of XSET. But they've done such a phenomenal job just there of pushing them in A main, denying the guns, and pushing XSET down onto their own thrifty.
Eyes on Takolia, but again, you're finding a similar tale, a split. Look at the utility that's being used to just push him out of those angles. I mean, the smoke as well, all of it, to make sure that he just can't hold the common angles that he wants to.
Def loves holding these positions with a Marshal, but King's going to make him pay for it.
Honestly, for Leviathan, assuming that they play smart here, play to minimize the risks, they should be walking away with a round on the board once more.
Absolutely. They've looked solid in these kind of situations. They only ran into, you know, one of the big thrifties in round 2 of Split, where XSET were able to bunch up and trade out effectively, but playing very spread right now, just roaming around the map looking
left.
for picks, looking for lurks, and maybe looking for a timing like this.
Heard it. VCT's right around the back. He's got the Spectre in hand. It's enough, even at that range.
Can they swarm the B anchors here?
Players might be feeling the pressure. Shy's fallen. Adverso, he's got to do some work. He's got to shut it down with the rifle. The players, they doubled up onto it. He does take down 2 of them, but now the spike. Starting to get planted. Down into the 2v2. The sidestep the damage. King is just fallen.
He's running ahead of Melzer as well. And now the task again for Melzer. He's good for 1.
Finding it still with the rifle, the lockdown. He has to break this. Now the pressure, the time on him. He comes up with it. All the way down to the wire, Josh. It's never easy, is it?
Leviathan do not want to make it simple for themselves, but Melzer has been so solid, so consistent. These big rounds he is continuously coming up with. But Leviathan looking a little sloppy there to even put it into a 1v2 scenario. Adverso and Shy did get overwhelmed trying to anchor. I mean, Adverso does well to get 2, honestly. Shy maybe not quite realizing how threatening it was.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of sync, but...
And then King running in ahead of Melzer, leaving Melzer
Josh,
to
I ain't gonna be fussy. I ain't gonna be fussy. 1 round at a time. That's what the Leviathan players are probably gonna be thinking.
Yeah,
1 round at a time. Try and keep it close.
And you're right, Brendan, it doesn't really matter where they come from, as long as they keep getting put up on the board. Within 1. This map, within 1 round now, as XSET, a narrow margin, 10-9 in the lead. They are going to have rifles back in their hands. It's a big ultimate as well, Def, with the null command. But Leviathan have got a lot of tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah.
They're not scared to go for aggressive looks with Takalia. They've got set plays with Adverso's Odin, going for some kind of tiles crunch with a mad Seize lineup. This team's got some stuff in their back pocket when it comes to Ascent.
How many more set plays, though, could they possibly pull out? It's been enough to bring them back into this one. I mean, if you just look at that round history, one way, that way, still the buy rounds. I'm pretty even so far in the second half.
There is a theoretical advantage here for XSET, though. With how much Leviathan rely on their utility, this triple initiator comp, having a null command to get in and onto the site is a huge, huge advantage for Def to work with. The question is whether he can maximize it and turn it into a round win.
The risk that Takalia has taken once more. Swings out to the top or mid.
Didn't break the turret, though.
No, he learns it's there. Team's gathering him his information.
Yeah.
A rotation by XSET all the way now.
And I like that. Taco grabs the info that the turret is there. Ulting in with the spike already? No, onto Catwalk. Bizarre.
Yeah, straight up on top of the box, I think, trying to gather
Yeah.
information just in case Takalia is still posted.
Force the rendezvous out of Takolia, who's now into a more passive position. It's a 4v5 for XSET. Looked a little rough in these kind of situations, but like I said, Def's ultimate should be a monstrous advantage for them to get into a post plan. BCJ's miles away with the spike. There's no chance they're going for the site hit.
It's just a fake, I think.
A
The spike's
fake?
leaning over towards A. Yeah,
With
no
a
command for a no command has popped off either side.
But Def is a pulsing beacon letting them know that this is
There's
a
no
hit into
space.
A.
I mean, there's no space being gained
30
ahead of time
seconds left.
for this A fake, this lurk to come through. Aaron has managed to catch this timing. I mean, he's been handed a miracle. It's a little bit all over the place. It's a little bit scrappy. Chaos in the situation. And either side can really find the advantage. Either side could thrive right now. Nanoswarm up top now to Nightfall. Dropped across, just an attempt to deny despite being planted. The Horde, it's lit them up. Shy's brought it down to the 1v1 and still not being planted. Sees off to the back, does it latch onto him? Is the position going to be known? Over the top, Cryo, not a clue in the world. And Shy finds it.
With another gorgeous retake clutch. Leviathan come out and tie things up 10-10. Shy in a similar situation to Melzer, going and picking up the operator after doing it all, after King runs in, arguably a little too early. But that round was madness.
It was pure
absolute
madness.
I mean, the fact that Aaron gets such a good lurk timing is spectacular, actually. And maybe that's what the whole round was designed to do.
What a play by Shy. What a play by Shy towards the end.
Yeah.
No sound cues for any of the players. Turns the fire, the horn doesn't get broken, and the C's as well cuts all noise cues once more. If the Nightfall, even if the Nightfall does fade off at that point, Cryo has not a clue as to where he's coming from.
That is one of the nastiest fade clutches I've ever seen. Shy playing that masterfully. This is one of the youngest players we have at the event. Only just turned 17 and he's doing that.
On the big stage, in an elimination game.
No problem.
Get broken now. A Prowler, so Shy is aware. Players are following up off of this, an exchange of fire, and already a dash through. Cryo, though, doesn't know what's happening. Shock Darts to try and shut down the approach through the choke point, but it is going to be the 1-for-1. It's all going to be broken down now with the Cosmic Divide in play. Shy still at the back corner of the site, and it is an approach over his head!
What?
Oh my goodness! Everyone couldn't get down onto it, but still it is traded. Fragment, damage done. Dev has to dodge. He has to sidestep and it has to move out the way.
Zekon is in the power position right now at B main with the spike planted. He could be the hero here for XSET.
Go to positioning, a slight whiff, but now it is known. Zekon grabs one, brings it to the 2v2. Dart getting broken, but now the stun in play, enough to potentially swing and capitalize. Nobody wants to make the play though. Time is ticking down, and he swings again. And they know exactly where Melzer is. A tap of the spike might be able to force the 1v1, but Cryo, once more, whips it around and a head is found.
And if you want to win these rounds for XSET, leave it down to the two young guns. Cryo and XSET deliver them through once more. Zekon with an awesome position, great first kill, and throwing out one shock dart and then a recon just coming online. That bought him enough time to survive again. What on earth was going on there, though? Aaron steps through the Cosmic Divide, throws down an alarm bot into backside, and it's just sat on top of Shy's head.
Look at him. Hands on the
What?
keyboard.
What happened there?
Don't worry about it, guys. Got the round, apparently.
Things are getting crazy here in the final few rounds, potentially, of this match, unless Leviathan can pull things back.
Exactly. It speaks volumes, I think, of the pressure that both of these teams are under. Leviathan just trying to edge their way back into the series, bring it to that map number 3. The hopes and dreams, the mantle of that on their shoulders in terms of representing South America.
And both of these teams are not known as the best teams from each region. You think LATAM, you think Crew. You think North America, you think Optic. But these are the #1 seeds. And in some sense, they're playing to dismiss that imposter syndrome that comes along with being the unexpected top dog from a region. And they're both going tooth and nail here on Ascent. Little flash of a technical pause, but we are back in the game. We are back in the game. And XSET, my word, Leviathan have chosen not to force into this one. Wow, and they are,
what a decision,
in theory, allowing XSET to get to match point. They've been able to create some magic on the Thrifty rounds before, though, and here it is again.
It's another triple push with the drone. They've done this one before. Ready and waiting for it. Hunter's Fury locked up, but Cryo is still there. Watching it with the rifle. Guarding the rest of his team, and Tekken, he decides, okay, time for me to pop one off. Gets the one tag, gets the second one. Perfect accuracy in terms of the prediction of where Takalea was going to be found. Only 2 of them left standing now. Leviathan with not many options left.
And XSET can feel this series in their hands right now. Not allowing that Thrifty to get dangerous in the slightest. Cryo playing out of his mind. Hey, if we had the conversation at the beginning of the day, who was going to have the bigger performances, Cryo, Taco? You've seen awesome stuff from Taco on Ascent so far in the tournament. But today it's all been Cryo cells.
This guy, I mean, he's really dissuaded, I think, all questions about his performance, him being a younger player. During the regional finals and the playoffs themselves, Cryo has been putting up amazing numbers, and he's carried this forwards now into LAN.
It's going to be the tiles crunch again, but there's no one home. Leviathan with their set play doesn't see a thing. Not a single point of damage done for all of that utility.
And the playbook is running low, isn't it, for Leviathan?
It does seem that way.
They rely on risk sometimes, they rely on the set plays, but they are struggling to come up with answers. This is the round that they need to convert.
Even Wine, the spot that's been working so well for Leviathan, as Melzer and Taco have had big moments there, cleared with a recon dart. And XSET may wait for that piece of utility to come back online before they go for the site hit.
Time in the round. Leviathan with the angles.
If XSET continue to make noise over towards A, like this 0 point, like this lockdown, Taco's going to peek into Cryo.
Surely this sells it. Surely it does. Tacolia. Oh, he's pushed all the way up. He's suppressed as well. Will not be able to use that rendezvous to escape. The drone, it tags him. He has to dodge, and Drew can avoid it once more, but Shy in the off angle, the slight angle. The reason of the aim, and he's got 2, and enough time has been bought. That's Tacolia getting back to safety. Rendezvous's back. Nightfall now. Dashed across the site, trying to shut this one down, but Aaron once more trying to salvage it. It's a 2v3. Cryo and Zekken still there. The rotation once more. Time is so low. Only 18 seconds left in the round, but the spike is leaning towards A.
Can the young blood convert again for XSET? Zekken
10 seconds left.
planting the spike, leaves Cryo, and he gets the kill onto Tacolia. This duo has just been superb for XSET, and Mels has left to deal with both of them.
Match point for XSET. Melza for his team's life in this tournament. Elimination. The chances, he has to secure it. The first kill is found, and surely he knows. Sticking to the fuse, half gonna be gained. Cryo hopping around the corner. The dash enabled. It's like Tappy knows he's not dead. The uptrap moving forwards. What is that? You've got to be kidding me. Melza keeping them in it.
How many clutches has Melza had in this series? It just feels like he can't lose them. Against the 2 top performing players on XSET. He takes out one, finding a gorgeous timing on Zekken.
10 seconds
barreling
left.
through the door.
Ice cold.
Enemy remaining.
Just whips a classic right click.
Enemy
Zekken
remaining.
was completely unaware. He did not expect Melza to be running through the door as he broke. And that ice cold from Melza, not even a reaction. He knows there's still more work to be done. 1 round needed to get to OT.
Job's not finished. Have to be keeping themselves in this one now. But XSET gathered up, grouped up, 5 of them in Gelato. Revealed by the knife, they're going to be backing away now.
And I think Leviathan have got a read on this. They started out grouped towards A, and are now starting
Prowler
to lean
pushes Tacolia into an angle.
Yeah, Taco's very aggressive here with the tour de force.
He could shut this down just by himself.
Teleport's ready.
He knows,
just forget if they don't use the utility to clear it.
but they have been diligent with utility so far. Dev,
Not this time though. It's a crouch peek. Def, that's how he's going to clear it. To Tacolia, of course he capitalizes. Drone taken out, teleports away, respecting it enough.
what a mistake from the attacking IGL from XSET. They've been so diligent, always using the drone to clear out B main in those kind of situations, and Def just walks in front of it. That's another first death for Def.
XSET scrambling a little bit for answers. Making their way through into mid. King, he's got it. The off angle playing in the corner with Cryo removed. What answers are there for XSET? Leviathan are on the cusp of bringing this one to OT.
They're just so good in these comeback
30
moments,
seconds
man.
left.
They bring out absurd clutches. Shy's ready for it as well.
Do you? Slide angle. BCJ will run and gun a bit there with a Spectre in play, but only 20 seconds left. Still the angle. Tacolia is able now to anchor it. They know where this is landing. Averse is going to try and help and supplement it with a dart in play. A paranoia even to push them back, but the pull, it stops them in their tracks. BCJ moves forward. Still the spike will need to go down. Tacolia has to find a kill. The spike, it's planted. King misses the flash. It's all the nerves on play, on show to stay in the match. BCJ, nerves of steel. 49 health. The smoke, you can feel it. Wants to make the play, wants to push through it, but they settle it. The nerves for but a moment. A 2v2 onto lane, smoke hooked up right around the side. BCJ will fall, and the fight is found and won. Melza comes up with it.
It's just Melza again. It's just been insane for them. And Leviathan proving that they are a comeback team, that they can make these moments happen. That's 2 match points for XSET that they've let slip away. You're right, Brennan. I can see the nerves, but I can see the people making huge game-winning plays as well. Melza's been so cold.
What a player. What a player. Outstanding resilience being shown by Leviathan to be able to bring this back from the brink.
And it feels like Leviathan have done so much just to get back into this map, which is probably their best chance of getting one in the series. And they don't win the series if they win it here. It's just for survival.
Purely for survival. The chance of securing that spot. The champion placement.
And we're going to see Leviathan going back over to the attack half. They only managed 4 rounds in regulation. Same could be said of both teams. Cryo is just demonic.
What disrespect being shown, though.
It's exactly what you have to do against these triple initiator comps as the Jet. Oh, here's Melzer again. Always good for it.
Yeah, he's found it. Traded, though.
And another punish on the death.
Yeah, exactly. Not quite a trade, but a kill nevertheless. Spikes drop down on top cap. No real movement being made, but still an attempt is there. Obviously, Cryo's gone in with a glass cannon approach. No armor to him, so that could have got particularly dangerous.
And they're going to have to play A for retake right now because there's no one watching mid apart from Cryo. And he's good for it. Shuts down that lurk from Shy.
That's ice cold again.
A great read, but they do not know the timing of Taco. That recon dart, letting him slip into Boathouse. Taco could be everything here for Leviathan.
I mean, a kill could be found, of course, but he's still in with his crossfire. He seems to just know. I mean, Aaron's got a crosshair placement for it.
Yeah, I thought they might have taken their foot off the gas just a little bit there, expecting the recon dart to give them a blanket of security. But Melzer left alone, and how many times have we said this? Melzer in a 1v4 now with 10 seconds. These are not as good as Melzer is. You can't ask him to do that. There are limits.
Switching sides.
Facing down defeat. Like I said again, 1 round away from being able to close out this series, move forwards in that lower bracket.
But they've already let slip 2 match points. Leviathan have been very clutch in those moments. This time they take a timeout. A moment to breathe.
Yeah.
That's what you need sometimes.
There's a chance for Batoni, the coach, to have his input as well. See if they can craft something. They're going to be on the defense side here. They were great. I mean, they got pushed to the limit. But they always came up with the goods.
Now they've got to find more answers. When it gets to these overtime scenarios, when it gets to this point in a series, in a match as well, a lot of these set plays that you might have cooked up, you know, the playbook, you're tossing it out the window. A lot of what's happening, you can feel the energy of a lot of these players, the XSET guys as well, taking it in a stride.
Yeah, looking confident here, I would say, from the XSET players. Despite the fact that they've let this one go to overtime, Zekken leaning back in his chair, a slight smile on Psycho's face. They feel like they're in control. They have, of course, been in many winning scenarios. They just haven't been able to close them out every time. Let's see what the game plan is right now.
Has to be something big. Either a player going huge, and once again a risk being taken. It's a glass cannon operator, Takolia just holding down the angle into mid, and he's rewarded.
Zekken putting too much faith in that recon dart, thinking that it would cover the position that Taco was wanting to play into.
And Josh, mistakes like that, they do tend to pile up, don't they, when you get into these OT situations.
You're also just not expecting Taco to take risks like that. With the tournament life on the line.
Fast play and approach now into it for Wine. It's a half clear. Aaron just not quite there. The players still moving in. XSET want to try and get themselves into the site. Get sorted, but they are surrounded on every single side. How the hell are the players even going to be able to get this spike down? Leviathan in control of multiple angles of smoke, blocking the side of it. Cryo gets the one. Utility being used to try and clear them through. Still, they have that player advantage. Haunt in play. Def just needs to hold on and buy space for the rest of his team. You have got to be kidding me! Flicking around Cryo, the reaction times. How is he still doing this much damage? How is he doing this much work? Still alive, still in action, but the players are so low. Def's being pushed back. Cryo's on top of it as well, but now removed from the fight. The fuse being stuck, and Def, he's definitely the entire time. He didn't know the position was removed. He doesn't know the reposition was there. And Leviathan bring it now to another round of OT.
Not only is that another 2v2 clutch, but that is a fantastic lesson in how to be confident, aggressive, and take risks even when your life's on the line. It's not just Taco that goes for the peek up towards top mid, but you had Melzer in wine as well. 2 risky positions, 2 plays that could have sent Leviathan home.
Yep.
And instead, they're the plays that throw XSET off and put them in a horribly uncomfortable post plan. And it's straight back to 13-13.
That's what happens when you're in this situation when it's OT. Both sides start to take those risks more and more. Mistakes start to get made off of it. But now it's a fast play once more. The B split. This is working for Leviathan on their attack side. But how did they get through this one? The Nano Swarm has done so much work. So much damage for the spray down that Zekan's able to claim. And it has to be a pivot, surely. It has to be a rethink of the strategy, the approach into this.
Cryo with an operator just watching the exit out through market. And I think Leviathan might be committed here to go for the push. Melzer would be the play to spring out through his smoke perhaps and try and catch timing. There are multiple XSET players in spawn. But Leviathan have thoroughly pumped the brakes.
Just about missed that one when the smoke dropped down. It's an unusual one. Door can be closed by Takalia.
Just faking the fact that everybody's left market perhaps?
I mean, a bit of a spam. I think maybe just trying to force fights possibly as they...
And allow Shy potentially to get an uncontested exit. I think they were worried about the lane angle when they left market there.
30 seconds left.
And it's going to be asked of Cryo once more here. It is a player advantage for XSET, but not on the site.
He's got to find his target, but Leviathan. They can feel it within their grasp. Still, that does not help them. Spike's still going to be dropped. So surely the plan. He's going to get off now into the post-plan scenario. Cryo oversteps himself. Once more. Thinks he has to be the playmaker. Re-swinging out, but the shots will just go in too wide.
So many players there to apply pressure to Cryo cells as well. I think he did a good job considering the circumstances. And XSET, they're in a 3v2 without any good utility to work with. A dry fight on both sides.
Really coming online for them. The knife, though, dropped down out of the turret as well to take the angle. It's traded all down to Melzer. He's been good for it, finds the first. Is the trade going to be there? What is that? He's been so consistent the entire time. Melzer pulling them back from the brink. The unthinkable scenarios that he's placed in, yet every single time he comes up with the goods with consistency.
What a moment that Melzer's found here. In this whole series, he has been the player to deliver. What a stage to make your name as one of the nastiest big moment clutchers we've had in Copenhagen. The rest of his team can barely believe it, but it's Leviathan now who are on match point.
All the way. One more round will do it. It'll keep them in the series. It'll keep them in the fight.
And XSET, I'm sure they've gone from feeling confident and like the game was in their hands to feeling it slip away. Is this where they have the mental resilience to hold on?
Pull off the back of that one. Takalia's got the angle watched down and the vulnerability surely sets them up for it. It does indeed. Damage has been done more than that. Only 2 players left standing now for them. And a spam to the side of the smoke. The prediction of the angle. Leviathan. Outstanding resilience over the course of the series. All left down to Zekan. But it's just too much for him to overcome, and they bring it all the way.
Bren, when we talk about big game players, big game teams, this is what we mean. Melzer was incredible on Ascent. And not just that, but XSET had 3 match points that they let slip out of their hands. And for Leviathan, it only took 1 time, 1 opportunity, and they convert. I think this is going to set up an extremely interesting map.
Oh, for sure. How the hell are the XSET players going to be thinking coming into this map 3?
Because really,
if opportunities for them to close it out, but
if you take a step back, this is how you expected the series to go.
Yeah.
Both teams are looking better on the maps that they picked. We saw how awesome Leviathan were on Ascent. But the manner in which it's happened, it feels like Leviathan are constantly fighting back, like they're always in it. Yeah. And I think that's going to be a tough pill for XSET to swallow. I think it's anybody's game from here on. What a game to have in the elimination bracket.
Yeah, 4 down to the wire. Mel's are dropping 29 kills. I mean, what an absolute demon this guy is. We're going to send it to a short break. The analyst desk are going to break down that ludicrous map. And of course, we're going to be getting back into the action with that map number 3 soon enough. Don't go anywhere.
We are going the distance in this series between Leviathan and XSET. I'm back on the desk with Mitch and Mimi. XSET, they had it. They had it in their grasp, but Leviathan, they ripped it out right from underneath them, and what a map it was for them in the end.
3 times. 3 times
they had
where
it.
there was a match point available for XSET, and they did not win it. They did not close out. And on top of that, there were so many 2v2s. There were so many clutch situations that XSET just let slip away. The pressure was on. The moment was theirs, and they just crumbled under it.
Yeah, I really felt like looking at this game go on, the amount of clutches that Leviathan were able to win out, but not just on an individual level, and in credit to them, but it definitely felt like at moments XSET were just dropping the ball massively.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I mean, I think the game actually started really well for them. That first half on their defensive side, they were playing a really great game. They were facing up against this triple initiator comp, and still they were anchoring sites, they were holding on. But there's one man that we must talk about, and that is Melzer, because his performance in this map was absolutely absurd. Without Melzer, without any one of these individual rounds, the map is not won, but there were so many rounds where he clutched, or he was a part of the 2vx and clutched.
Honestly, I thought he could have won a 1v5.
Yeah, well, like, I'm sure he came pretty close at some point, only lacking the opportunity, really. I have to say, pistols keep on going to Leviathan.
Yeah.
They keep on winning clutches, and these are the things giving them a heartbeat in some of those shakier situations. But Melzer has been consistent. It's not just this map. The previous map, he single-handedly won 3 rounds for the team, clutching them out. This time around, 57% of clutches, and it's not even that. There was one of the last rounds where it wasn't a clutch, but he was sat in wine. He won the first fight, got lit to 35 HP, still found a second fight, and all the time they are focused on him, and his teammates are able to come through and initiate some duels of their own. Like, he is bringing so much value to this team.
It's also very concerning how many clutches XSET lost as well. At one point, it felt like they were losing every single clutch, round after round after round.
I mean, I was just like ripping my hair out. I was like done with it after a certain point because XSET had so many opportunities to close and they just kept letting them slip away. In the early round, they played a really excellent macro game. I think their rotations were really on point to set themselves up in such winnable positions. But Leviathan, I think it's just the secret sauce, the X factor, the confidence when it came down to the wire to just go for those risky plays, to go for those big moments, and so often find success. I have a lot of respect for them for being under such a tough situation. Your Champions run is possibly on the line here. Your life at Copenhagen is on the line, and you're still taking those big risks.
We can hear them as well. They're actually quite
so
far
hyped.
away from us, but we can hear them warming up there. And Mitch, it's not out of the question that they could clutch this on the next map.
I think so. And you know, it's not just that we're coming in here saying, well, they've got their pistols, they've got Melzer, so that's all. I mean, at Verso, I don't know how many times this guy's been able to win them the pistol rounds, the 3Ks, the 4Ks that he's pulled out each map. But moving further past that, even Shy has had some remarkable rounds coming out of him. I thought I was going to come in today and I was going to say, hey, Taco, really solid player. We've got some other facets, mainly King as your stand-up, and actually it's been the other side, the other half of the roster that's blown me out of the water so far.
I feel better about Leviathan coming into this map than I do about XSET. They play the Fade Arrays here. They've looked really solid on it. They almost beat DRX on this map. It required a comeback, sure, but they almost made it happen. Whereas for XSET, I think they play, what, that Jet comp with the double initiator? It's a solid one, but I don't have as much faith. Also, I think they're going to be feeling shaken. The pressure is going to be on, and we saw yesterday when the pressure came down to it, when they were in those critical moments, the pressure was getting to them. It happened last map, and I'm very nervous that it's going to happen again here up against Leviathan. That's just cool, calm, collective. They're chilling out, having a good time.
I think the problem is the problem is not the fact that they lost, but in the fashion in which that they lost. Because really, they shouldn't have lost that many clutches, Mitch. They could have Because if it won just one out of any of those, they would be going through to the next round.
Yeah, that's very fair to say. And, you know, looking at Leviathan, their history on this map, the DRX game that you mentioned, they had one of the worst starts we've ever seen to a defensive side there. One pistol, one follow-up, got practically nothing else that half, and still we ended up at a 13-11. I think Leviathan on current form, and with the clutches they're winning, I might start to change my favorite if XSET don't change massively coming into this one.
100%. And I mean, beyond just the clutches, it's the early round. It's the pistol rounds that you mentioned. 4 for 4. They got ecoed on one of those, but other than that, they're always converting. They're always getting themselves in these really good positions early, instilling that confidence off the rip in halves.
I think a lot of this is also on the shoulders of Def as well. He had a great map on Ascent, but this is where you need to tell your some less experienced teammates, like, hey, we can bounce back. Let's forget about this. Let's move on. We have seen teams do this before. XSET, even themselves, they have come back from these situations.
Yeah, for their coach as well in Psycho. He's got the suit, he's got the sunglasses, but this is the time where the sunglasses come off. We get serious on that team and focus in. They really need to just level out these players.
Yeah, I think the confidence stops really rolling in your favor as well when you think about the last time that we saw them play here on this map on the side of XSET. They had beaten Optic regionally. They beaten is not even the right word. They 13-3'd them. They demolished them. And then they came back into this tournament, debut on Haven. Everything's looking good. And they kind of got smashed. Like, thinking about the fact that we've had them shaky into this, we're now seeing the cracks form, the holes there, where they're losing out on these clutches and giving massive opportunities to players like Mouser to consistently put up these clutch numbers. It then terrifies me when I look at them and say, okay, who do I need to show up this time around? We have some ideas, but it needs to change from what we saw versus Optic at this event.
We're into the Prime Gaming Agent Select. Now, both of these guys played already yesterday. Maybe not really expecting anything.
No, I wouldn't expect anything. The guy I'm looking at in this one, though, is going to be Taco. He had, honestly, a fairly slow map, all things considered, on Ascent, but he was farming yesterday in that game against DRX, and I think that on this map, he's going to feel really comfortable, especially with that defensive-sided start. The comps do stay completely the same, so Taco will have the opportunity to shine on that chamber roll.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. This is it, guys. We're heading to map 3. There are no more second chances. The loser will be eliminated from Masters Copenhagen after this. Over to you, Bren and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, Sue. Let's get to it. All on the line, the desk is hammered at home, and for good reason, because this is really where both of these teams are competing for the right to remain in this tournament, the right to continue their storylines all the way through that lower bracket. Yeah. It's a hell of a task ahead of them, Josh. It's a hell of a task.
It really is, and I think so much of it comes down to that mental game. I ask serious questions of the XSET players because the losses on Ascent there reminded me of how they lost to Optic. Yeah. They're losing the clutch scenarios. Def's dying first all the time. They can't convert. They have also lost 4 out of 4 of the pistol rounds so far, and they desperately need to get one under their control. If they had won either of them on Ascent, the map goes to them, the series goes to them. And Leviathan are doing a 4-man push with Taco ready to collect.
Right on the top box. Teleports away to safety. Def once more, another first Def to the collection.
XSET have managed to take control of C though, and now the push comes back through Garage. Leviathan all barreling
time wasted, no time wasted. The flash has already been set straight through, and the kills are being found. The heads are being found.
These rounds aren't close. These pistol rounds are never close. Leviathan completely outclassing XSET. I mean, the pace on the retake, the sloppiness with which Def is entering through Garage without thinking about where Tackle would be. I mean, Def has been having... Map 1, he had a much better series than he did against Optic. He really picked himself back up. Map 2, he was back to his old ways. 0 and 7 in first kills to first deaths. That's not acceptable. You can't ask the players that are doing all of the early round work for you in Cryo and Zekken to also be the late round clutches. And then you can't also be feeding your life away in so many of those rounds. XSET go for the force. They got the spike down and they want to tumble. They want to tussle.
Similar scenes. The C's nade in the lobby. That's Leviathan just trying to push them back, just trying to force them back. And Shy trying to coordinate. The dog getting a bit of information. The fight being taken into mid.
It's Def again.
A stun ripped off. Def goes down. Invested heavily into this one. A flash to try and re-clear and reposition. Leviathan still playing this one. Trademark off to the side. This time Zekken does come up with the kill. Shy, a bit of spam being exchanged as well. He's falling incredibly low. 40 HP. Attacko right around the side. Frenzy in his hand. Cryo back to safety, but he is going to be pressured right from lobby, and it's all down to Aaron.
And it's just nowhere near enough. XSET, after giving up 3 match points on Ascent, take a break, take a breather, try and reset the mental, and are getting crushed to open up Haven. Leviathan, I can hear him screaming.
They are cheering.
They
are potentially singing, Josh.
They've got all of the momentum here. The economic momentum. They feel like they're unbeatable on pistol rounds. And they just saved their tournament life on Ascent. This is going to fire them up. Taco already 4-0.
Yeah.
He had quite a number of first kills in the previous map too. And the reason I'm hammering that home, Brent, is that even though Leviathan only won 15-13, very close game, they were 18-10 in first kills to first deaths. 18 of those rounds started with a first kill for Leviathan.
Look at this switch up. The Seas nade gets some control of A lobby, and King, he takes a space off of it. Gladly. All the way deep, dodging the flash. I said no now that there's potentially a player pushed up into this angle, and of course it's only the half by form they forced in the previous round. They're not working with good weaponry.
Not in the slightest. Leviathan are expecting some kind of B hit here. King all the way pushed up in lobby is the player about to be tested.
I mean, he should get value, shouldn't he? It's a fight. Satchel just in case the play is close, and yep, sets him up, doesn't it? Favorable fight. Cryo just cannot find any accurate shots. Watch that one line of sight angle, but as soon as they start peppering off the shots once more, you see the swing coming through from Shy just to support his teammate.
And now XSET just trying to run in, seeing if they can get anything done. But this one's looking like a flawless. Leviathan's so in control of these early rounds.
30 seconds left.
And there hasn't really been a player yet for XSET that's been nasty in these moments, in the clutch scenarios. Obviously, to draw the comparison in a low economic scenario, but it's been Leviathan in control of the early rounds with the first kills and the late rounds with the clutches. Yeah. What does that leave XSET? Barely anything.
Nothing at all.
They've been good in the gun rounds, honestly. It's been incredible that XSET has been able to keep it this close, despite losing every pistol. But they're going to have to pull out something huge on Haven. XSET already burning one of their timeouts, by the way. Once we come out of these Prime Gaming Flawless highlights, you'll see XSET take after 3 rounds.
I think this is necessary, though. If you're listening in on the comms and the players are just playing lack of confidence off the back of it, mistakes being made, not properly clearing corners, it's a difficult decision to make. Don't get me wrong, using your timeout very early on in a half, but if you feel like the players are just going to be snowballing out of control into a loss,
yeah,
you have to take it.
Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. And I think you're looking at Def, the player that's currently talking, the attacking IGL for the team to step up. And that means in terms of leadership, rallying the mental of the team, that means in terms of his individual decision making and how they're orchestrating the attack rounds as well. The defense has looked good for XSET, but the attacking halves have been somewhat lacking, and Leviathan are going to keep applying the pressure. These guys can smell blood in the water. And Leviathan are grouping up for a B push. A walk down mid.
Oh my goodness.
On what is a delayed bonus round for them in round 4.
Definitely dangerous though, isn't it? Takaleo working with the rifle. He's holding it over towards the A side of things. The rest of them just trying to make usage of their Spectres in a close quarter fight. There's the walk down. Holding the angles in mid.
Looks like Melza might be priming a paranoia as well in case there was anybody ahead. Box, BCJ, good for the first.
Yep, shot being found. You've got to notice something more, and the stun, well, just avoided narrowly there. The dash to the side, kills are definitely being found now as XSET do breathe or slow it down and make sure to absorb all that aggression. I think a bit of a giveaway for them, honestly. The fact that there was no C's nade, they've been doing that every single round so far. As soon as they don't see that in A lobby, they know something else is different.
And XSET love to have their attacking rounds slowed down. They're very happy to hold these slow defaults. How diligent are they on the garage check, making sure that they flash before they go for the peak. This time, Taco Lee are not there. And Melza and Takulia are a long way away from this play. Melza might have an opportunity to upgrade. I'm not sure whether any of the other players in grass
Spike planted.
had a weapon. Takulia's working with a Vandal here. Melza only with a Spectre. Surely they don't win this 2v4.
No, I mean, it's just almost an impossibility, but I would have said that about many of the times that Melza's managed to clutch this one out. It looks like Melza is just going to be opting to try and find a weapon and play for exits.
Exits would be devastating here for XSET.
Yeah, the economy is not looking too good if they end up losing those rifles.
One enemy remaining.
But they've managed to forge a safe path out through CT. They're not going that way, though. They're going back into Melza.
Oh, he's found one.
And Melza's got a Vandal.
Flash going to be dodged. Players moving into under crosshair placement. Immaculate from Melza, but around on the board nevertheless for XSET.
It's good damage, though. It really is. It's going to apply the squeeze to XSET's economy.
Oof.
Zekken, however, with his Blade Storm, so that's going to alleviate things somewhat. Probably not too bad here. And they are dealing with this aggression well. I like the way that XSET run these slow default rounds, but the ability to convert those in mid-round was where the struggle began, and honestly converting the late round as well for XSET. Their attack side on Haven, though, has been clinical the last few times we've seen it. There's the Seize Nade again. It's a great idea, but when you do it every round, your opponents, your opponents aren't going to walk into it, and then it becomes a tell if the Raise and the Fade are not there. So already you see Shy rotating over to B.
Laser, but yeah, playing up close, going to get pushed off that angle. Stun.
Got your trail.
Let's use the fault line just to push him back. Even the Seekers now. Looks like going to be opting to take some space off of this one, maybe.
Them down.
Not going too quickly off the back of the Seekers. Maybe just trying to see how many people are around. And while it seems like the Seekers have cleared out the B side, oh, there's a Haunt as well that lets them know these players haven't retreated yet. The aggressive Rolling Thunder.
The Rolling Thunder just going to be pushed up into the corner. King dodges it, and a crossfire is there, but luckily, Zekken comes to collect. Blazestorm in his hands, whips it across. He will salvage it, and Cryo's there to pick up the pieces as well. Adverso going for that risky play once more.
Aaron on the lurk can hear Takulia running around.
30 seconds left.
And this operator not long in the hands of Leviathan's chamber.
One enemy remaining.
Aaron finding the easiest kill he's had all match. And Melza, 1v4, now dropped down to a 1v3, and the time not great for XSET.
There's only so many times he could do it.
Just
surely.
All of these situations look so much more difficult, even than the ones he was put into for Ascent.
Of course. Respect being shown to him. The guy's done it enough.
Yeah, and you can't keep up a 57% clutch rate.
No.
That's not human.
Certainly not.
Huge round from Zekken, though. The use of the Blade Storm, not only did it help for his team's crippled economy, but being able to punish the aggression on the push. I mean, I think Leviathan need to make a strategic adjustment here. This aggression is not paying off.
It did initially, with the crossfire they had. XSET had to get bailed out by Zekken, whipping around with the Blade Storm to pick up 2.
Yeah, but the reason that I'm saying I'd like to see a Leviathan adjust away from it is that XSET are not exploring deep into mid or garage. Their players are often quite clumped up. And what that means is even if you are pushing a lobby and you get a good fight on the players that are there, the help is going to come very quickly. For example, here, BCJ and Zekken are able to come and bail out these A players because they're not that far away. They're holding passively in mid. If XSET are the kind of team to play very spread defaults and they have 2 players like C long or something, then sure, go for the aggression. But that's not how XSET approach their defaults.
Behind me.
We're going to see another Seize Nade, slow. Get pumped into A lobby again. Fault line it is, it's everything. I mean, the Haunt being offloaded, but rounds like this, exactly when Takulia wants to come up with something.
Yeah,
that was right on the elbow.
Always saving the tour de force for moments like this. And he finds another one of those crucial first kills. Winning the chamber head-to-head.
It's a clear strategic decision. Keeping the ultimate for these rounds where the buy is a bit lower because when you put into this, player advantage for them. Exchange of utility across the board. Aftershocks on either side. Dash towards from Zekken. Cloudburst is late though, and Shy. Well, he's found that one. Wasn't a trade in play, it's got him the Nightfall. That's going to go straight across onto the site, and now there's just no cues for them. Plant gets stuck, all the players lit up, and around the Thrifty just converted.
These rounds are where Leviathan are finding their success. Thrifties, pistols, clutches. It's everything outside of the norm.
Yeah.
That's where Leviathan live. What was that round? Taco Leah and Shy coming out strong. Taco Leah finds the opener. Shy with a gorgeous timing. And that's all he sees. That's all he sees. And Shy does a great job here, by the way, of getting the first kill and dropping back into the connector to use his ult.
Yeah.
If Shy tries to get greedy and gets another, they don't win that round. Really smart play from a young and fairly inexperienced player.
Holding on to the lead. That's what Leviathan are aiming to do. Again with the C's name.
It's every time. And what are they doing with this A lobby control? I mean, at this point, King is pushed up. And a Haunt used early too. Leviathan, a lot of early round utility being used. And XSET have managed to retake A lobby most of the time. Trailblazer broken, and A lobby is just sponging utility out of both of these teams.
Yeah, both teams, neither side really wanting to commit. Just making sure that they hold, and
there's a
drag it out.
line, a prowler, and yet
look at the position.
they're not crossing the line of scrimmage at all.
I know. The attack side of XSET, I mean, none of them are making moves towards any other section of the map, but now they're starting to make their way into A lobby. 50 seconds left in this round.
I wonder if King decides to go for an aggressive showstopper here.
He is set up to absolutely crush this.
With the time on the clock, it'd be awesome if King was holding a more safe position where he could use that showstopper to deny the plant, but he's so aggressive. He's got to use it and try and find a timing on XSET as they come in.
And now they're coming right down. The flashes into the cloudburst, trying to find it second. He's removed easily enough. Showstopper on play.
Last player standing.
Into A-Long, shuts down the push. Ready for every single piece that was coming their way.
And all of that time ticked off at the beginning of the round. It all has a purpose, because Leviathan are able to get a ton of people over there. And they just know that XSET are grouped up towards A, because that's the only place on the map they've seen any utility being used.
Yeah, there's been no presence anywhere else.
And this is where XSET style can start to hurt them a little.
Slow plays. You can feel the energy for Leviathan as well. I mean, honest to God, reverberations across the arena. Just from the players alone.
Yeah. Remember, this is their first international event, but they have played on stage before.
Yeah.
That's where they took down Crew.
You want to play? Let's play.
Oh, sees Nade in a different department this time.
Yeah.
Over at the headshot box on grass. But again, XSET don't take that area of the map very early too. Aaron forced to take a bit of a back foot. And we'll see whether Cryo can have the same impact with his tour de force as we saw from Taco Leah on their
A slight off angle of Taco Leah. I mean, this is a brutal one.
Melza, presumably on top of the box, might be in a position to punish Cryo.
But I feel like
jiggling short.
If they don't properly clear this, yeah, Taco Leah comes up with the goods once again.
Either position Cryo took his op to, he was going to get punished there. Very difficult for him to get anything done.
I love that. I really do. Trey might drop though, and that means XSET.
Big paranoia.
Yeah, increasing the tempo of this now as the push comes down, but still they're not dealing with it. Taco Leah, the crossfire is set up. Him and Melza, high and low in terms of the angles that they were watching. It's all down to death. Flashed up at a moment. Only working with the Spectre, but he has brought them down into the 1v2. Tapping it, exchange of the gun. Wrapping it from one side to the next, the aftershock just being used to push back a potential angle and get King into position here, into short. Information gain now. Def's just trying to isolate the 1v1, but not enough. Not enough for him.
In all of these tricky situations, Leviathan come out on top. But now in this half, they're just winning the default utility war as well.
Yeah.
XSET haven't actually been able to get their site executes functioning. They're getting challenged for all of the map control, and they're losing these battles. Normally, XSET are awesome in these positions, but Leviathan are putting crazy pressure on them, and then stacking sites to shut them down.
And the timeout I was used earlier, I mean, you don't have that access now when these rounds are slipping away from you. XSET was supposed to be winning out a lot of these buy rounds. That's where they were finding the advantage in this series. And so far in Haven, it's been slipping away, bit by bit.
So here's the adjustment. Here's the adjustment. Actually having Aaron take some control over towards short, but it's not supported, and he looked a bit uncomfortable there too.
Seekers now to try and split themselves into this one. A deep flash on top of it, even a smoke. What's left for them though to try and take space into it? A dash colliding with one another, the rolling thunder. A lot of players going to be stunned up there. That was Def sending that one flying straight into them. Flash up into the sky, anti-flash position being played, but Takolia! 2 kills! The headhunter still in play. He's been so clean with it. TP's up onto the high ground. Aaron will punish that one. The goal to make a play like that in the moment. But pressure's getting to them. Mistakes are happening all over the bloody shop. But once more, Zekken returns with 2. Satchel plays, dash to the side, time being played. To crossfire by XSET. The first time they've come close to it. King sticking it down, but Cryo finds it in the end.
A really well-handled moment there from Zekken, showing extraordinary poise. In a tense moment, he almost looked like he'd been abandoned on site. Just staying alive inside the smoke. And it's a great attempt by Leviathan, but look at this play from Zekken. Inside the smoke, catches Shy and Melzer, and Cryo's just playing safe the whole time. But Bren, it's Cryo and Zekken again being forced to open the round and close the round.
Yeah.
And those are the only ones that XSET are getting away with. This time around still, that same level of aggression towards A-Lobby, despite the fact that Season Aid was not used.
One spots the positioning, tackle here pushed up. Trailblazer taken out.
And XSET are using so much utility without actually taking any space.
It's been so slow.
And it means that Leviathan, the players who are fighting around A long and A short, they're never under pressure. They can always use more util.
Going for the B hit. A move being made straight into mid, but they have not dealt with Shy. The trade is there. Zekken deals with him, takes him out aftershock into the corner, including the paranoia. Def is going to be going down for the cause. Spike is going to be planted, it's down with the rolling thunder. It doesn't catch Zekken, it misses! And the pre-fire to half clear by King. Dash into the corner, switches it up, moves to the side. It's all down to him and the spray down! Right in the moment, Cryo finds it.
But it's absurd, Brent. They just stuck the defuse.
They just stuck the defuse?
The whole time.
They stuck the defuse?
The whole time. While Zekken is tucked in that position, trying to do everything.
Bro, I mean, I completely
missed
that.
Leviathan is just sticking it. Look at this replay. So Zekken goes in, gets it. He's tucked around the corner, and right from this moment, they're sticking it. And it's Adverso and Takolia pushing forward to distract him that actually caused the round to be won for the Leviathan in the first place.
Closest the round has been in quite some time, and I think indicative, honestly, maybe of the pressure, the antsiness that XSET are feeling. Aaron's just TP'd into their spawn.
He just TP'd into their spawn.
I mean, he's found an opening full blind up, but still, is it enough for him? No, it's being dealt with. Shy. A quick wrap around, a flick of the wrist, Aaron is dealt with.
This is sloppy, this is chaos.
It's all over the place.
Cryo's managed to look his way into C, but look at where Melzer is, cutting off the rotates.
And they're not going to expect it.
Drop
down
spike.
through the wall. Melzer, man, no mercy. No mercy at all.
You cannot afford to give quarter. Leviathan are playing for their tournament lives. They're playing to make it to champions. This team is the last hope of South America, and they are putting on a masterclass. Melzer finishes it out as well. And XSET are throwing different looks, crazy plays.
It's desperation.
It is. It is just desperation. And Leviathan are dealing with it all.
What is that? Melzer, what an outstanding player he's been. They put such a highlight on Takolia as a player coming into this one, as the guy to step up and really hand it to the star players of XSET who have been performing so consistently. But from top to bottom, this Leviathan squad has been dealing with the problems, the issues that's been throughout this series, battling their way back and now in firm control.
There's Takolia though. Another one of those first kills with his operator that he loves to play with so often. Before any utility could be used to push him away.
Yeah.
Grabs the kill and cancels the hit. XSET are left with no map control and it seems no vision. There was a guiding light back into A lobby, and I don't think it caught King. So they may not know that this angle is being covered. King with an opportunity to close the door in the half.
Locks down the one, but dealt with too many players, overwhelmed on that one particular angle. The teleport up now as you can see Melza joining the rest of his team to try and anchor. He holds the close smoke, dropped it down. Nightfall even on top of it. Why not? Overloading it with utility. Still Cryo has had to answer once more. Rising to the call that his team needed him. Time, 35 seconds shy, holding it slightly. The stash, the movement, one to the side. Cryo's gonna have to ace this round to bring it
30 seconds left.
to the 4th one for them. Doesn't know the position of Taco Leah. The patience is being played. Spike gonna be planted. And only now is Taco Leah moving round the jiggle. Oversteps himself, 55 health. One more shot will do it. He's gotta land it, but Taco Leah's so favored, so clean. This guy has been a menace.
And even Cryo can't get it done for XSET. Leviathan are celebrating already. Up 9-3 at the half. They've won every pistol round. This looks destined to be Leviathan running away with the series after they defeated and overcame 3 match points on a set. They have simply looked sublime. Taco, Melza, Shy stepping up as well. This team's really hitting in their stride.
It's a level of confidence you can't prep for. It's going back off these players. Look at it. They can feel it. The moment is theirs for the taking. Representing the entirety of South America at this point as the lone team left standing. An outstanding effort from them. We're going to go back down to the analyst desk, break it all down so far in this map. What have you got for us, guys? I'm really at a loss for answers. I think this is so difficult for XSET to deal with. And look at that Leviathan statistic at the bottom there. 100% win rate during the pistol rounds. They've won every single one. They might be about to win another one, honestly. And that would be just, honestly, the killing blow.
Yeah, that would be absolutely devastating. XSET need this pistol round more than they've ever needed a pistol in their lives. The defense rounds have been good, but they can't buy a pistol.
The confidence is showing, I think, just off the back of this executed so fast from Leviathan. No messing around. Stopped in their tracks by the paranoia, but already the nade has found value, but the crossfire of XSET. Will it be enough to shut them down? The answer is yes. Taco Leah left alive, the last one standing for their team. XSET, for the first time in this series, look like they are on the cusp of winning the pistol round, or may. Have I just cursed them? Have I just cursed them?
Don't speak too early. Taco has been on a heater so far. But I think with the spike down, there's just nothing he can do here.
He just can't, surely.
40 HP.
Right?
And XSET have been offered a lifeline. I thought when Aaron died to the nade coming out, that was going to be the end of it. Another pistol round wiped away. But it's all down to Taco. He has weak players on the other side. BCJ and Def would die to a single body shot. And 40 seconds left is going to put fear in the minds of XSET. But Def deals with it. An awesome response from Def, who is sat at the bottom of the scoreboard. And I think big questions have been asked about his performance so far in this tournament, but that is important to get the pistol round going.
So to switch the confidence around, honestly, because Sue set up the question as well. Coming back into this half, what can XSET do? I mean, winning the pistol round was a fantastic start. Necessary, all things considered. And yeah, Stats team, cursed players one time during the tournament. That's okay. We'll have our moments.
Yeah. It's monumental as well, because Leviathan weren't winning a huge amount of pistol rounds against DRX, but it just felt like they had XSET's number the whole time. For XSET to bounce back, I think that'll give them some faith. And I think that's what you're looking for here. Faith, not confidence.
Faith, and also dealing with it one round at a time.
Yeah, belief in the rest of your teammates, that they have what it takes to pull the team back.
But it is a very small buffer. Is what they're going to be allowed if they want to try and make any sort of comeback happen. Melza with the teleport on the high ground. As a paranoia cut across, even the flash actually catching on to Def there. Plan to play, but okay. Turning up the tempo. Nade should deny that defuse. Players have to respect it.
And it buys time for Shy. but he's dealt with. BCJ on the back end. And despite the team flash that came through there, that was actually a pretty well-coordinated retake.
Flawless.
Paranoia to clear out the cubby, and a lot of aggression to flush out the whole of mid. And XSET's defenses, they have looked good.
Spike planted.
Been clean overall. But it just feels such a mountain to climb and such a mentally shattering scenario for them to be in.
But look at that.
Got me, son.
I mean, Def as well, just saying, you know, listen, I'm not going to pretend to actually know what he said in that moment, but I'm sure it was important.
I think he said, "Dap me, son."
Dap me, son. What a fitting sentence to come from his mouth.
Yeah,
but it's what necessary, honestly, from the veteran presence, I think, on this team.
That's how the North American players get confidence. XSET converting the bonus would be massive for them to get back into this half. They're not a team that cooks up too many big set executes and set strats to catch people off guard. They do the basics and they do it well, at least that's the idea.
Angle being watched by Cryo. He feels pressured from multiple angles, still he holds it.
Down.
A little bit of greed there, maybe just opting to try and do just that little bit extra to push them over the line in terms of the advantages they could get in the round.
Oh, and Def, he was going for the ult orb, and the plant came down just a fraction of a second too early, so now he doesn't have his ult to work with.
Could have been a difference maker.
Now, looking at the positioning, I don't think it would have made too much difference, though, Brent, because everybody playing offside. 4 players offside here for Leviathan.
Yeah, playing those post-plan setups, the nade. Tap on that one.
Gonna get half.
The corner, half is gonna be secured. In fact, just all the way, BCJ sticks it. Goes down eventually to the nade, but he has done a lot of work now. Still the spam is there. Half on the defuse, it's broken once more. And another nade for King. Brutal. Raining down all the brimstone, all the explosives. It doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, they do convert it. And for their players, Leviathan carrying forwards those rifles.
10 rounds on the board for the Chilean team, representing their country, their region, the whole continent. And look at that, a fraction of a second.
So close.
Perhaps actually Def would have found value out of it, sending the breach ult if he'd been able to save it down C long. Would have offered them some level of opportunity. But that round just came down to some random shots through the smoke.
Essentially King finding enough kills to get another nade, I think.
Yeah. And this C site is unguarded currently. XSET choosing to play it for retake, anticipating some garage aggression. But it's all a fake from Leviathan. That pressure over towards C long, not actually materializing in anything. And Cryo slipped himself into a lovely angle.
Has to avoid this time. Prowler and the flash. Gets the one, gets out. Patient play from him, but he has set them up with a beautiful opener.
Having said that, XSET with no information to see. Almost.
Yeah, the goal of this guy! He's just running it down straight down mid.
It's kind of crazy though, because Taco assumes there's only the operator on B. In fact, there was like 3-4 players from XSET there. How is Taco supposed to expect that?
Mel's just looked into C.
And Adverso's lurked into A. They're all over the place because XSET grouped so heavily around B and Garage.
Yeah, there's gaps. Gaps in the defensive protocol.
And how do they deal with it?
Cryo's holding it. I think he expects a player to maybe be there.
Is anyone holding?
30 seconds
Are they going to go and re-flush out Melza? I don't think so.
They're all running away. Oh, BCJ's watching the angle. Melza spotted in the end.
Madness. Madness that Adverso and Melza don't get value there. It looked perfectly set up for them. I don't think that was awareness so much as lucky timing and winning the duels, frankly.
Sure. 10 seconds
But
left.
XSET will take everything they can get.
Weird one.
And to be honest, Brent, most of the time, those crazy rounds have been going the way of Leviathan.
They have.
Do you remember the quote from BCJ earlier when we listened into the comms? Creating chaos, baby, that's what we do. That's what he said on Ascent. But it hasn't worked for them overall. Controlling the chaos has been the name of the game for XSET. In the rare moments they've been able to manage it.
I think it's worth mentioning once more as well. The amount of pressure I think that's on players like Cryo and Zekken to turn up. Cryo comes up with the opening kill in that round. But we've been mentioning it. It's been him that's had to not only open and close it.
Yeah.
The other players on XSET have been falling and failing to kind of pull their own weight. This time around though, on this half, we've seen significant step up, I think, in the performance of a lot of those support players that are alongside those star players.
And BCJ had an excellent map 1 and map 2 playing Omen. Now he's back onto his main initiator role. Been kind of quiet. He's the player I'm looking towards, because he's normally the 3rd best player by a fairly long shot on this team. And he's gone a little silent. Just using his guiding light to get some information over towards short and give Cryo peace of mind. Re-peeking.
Potential for a nasty timing. If Cryo wasn't watching it, but he picks it up. Oh, and that Jiggler's going to be getting him a lot of info, but the reaction times is enough. Shot being found. Space going to be given up, though. Not holding on to A.
Yeah, XSET choosing to play retake with the Rolling Thunder. Looking across at Nightfall on the other side of things, but I highly doubt Leviathan are going to use something like that in a 4v5 with bad weaponry.
Wouldn't really be advisable. Spike going to be dropped down, so that's knowledge now being gained. Rolling Thunder's going to disrupt this one. Catches.
Fast retake.
2 of the players, yeah, that's going to be the fast retake, but they haven't dealt with the player in hell. Still another flash. That's going to be enough. Showstopper around the corner, but Aaron, shot to the head. Spike is still there. Melter is rushing into the fray. Has to do something about that, but obviously makes his presence known easily enough just through the sound cues.
And that's a bit of a questionable decision for King to invest his ultimate, but I think he was hoping anyone else on Leviathan could hold on and that the reaction was not fast off the back of the Rolling Thunder. But that's the 2nd time that we've seen XSET go for quick retake attempts. 1 on B, and now 1 on A. Leviathan are going to have to be ready for those. They were fairly decent, actually, at shutting them down from DRX, despite how coordinated the DRX retakes looked. But they're going to have to make similar adaptations. That round, though, was the anti-eco. For XSET to keep this comeback alive,
It's time to work.
they need to be winning rounds like this.
This is the important one. Fully buying up here for Leviathan. Committing the players into it. That's pace being dropped into this round. Rendezvous, just to stay alive there from Takalia, gets stunned up by the Trailblazer, has to respect it, moving away with the rest of their team, but look at the way Leviathan are just filling in the gaps in the rest of the map. Bit of presence being made, but now the B hit starts to come through. Satchel to try and break that trademark. Nothing to slow them down, but a plant is going to be there.
The Seeker's used immediately here.
After shock!
They want to go for another fast retake.
It is trying to be fast, but is the players in there? Aaron actually get, I believe, South blinded by his own teammates. Not enough to catch King, though. B hopping away, trying to get to safety. Second. Fantasti's got being pressured. What a flick, though! And now it's being stuck. Aaron inside the own smoke. The angle's not being found, and the coverage once more. Just suppressive fire. Takalia gets, I mean, just consolation prize, I think, essentially, with that kill onto Zekin, but essentially the round that XL won. What an important one it was.
Well, Leviathan celebrating a little too early, perhaps, at the half. They looked joyful, they could see it, the game was in their hands. Bren, this comeback feels extremely real right now. The manner in which it's happening, too, Leviathan are getting fast retaken multiple times, and there is no response. Leviathan, the players getting caught out. King, as he attempted to wiggle his way out of B, getting surprised by Aaron's speed. And Zekin picking up a kill on the flank too. They don't have an answer in the post plan.
And honestly, reminiscent of kind of an older style of meta, I think the full XSET meta that XSET are going to be playing in North America. Often you'd see this game of cat and mouse of teams just tapping a plan, trying to bait that fast retake. Yeah. Trying to bait the utility out from the defenders.
Yeah. And Leviathan will be thinking about considering their options and seeing what they want to go for. Of course, you could try and play some more of the slow rounds and make sure you have a man advantage when you get into the post-plant situations. But Leviathan have wanted to burst. That's been their style. They have to take another eco here. It's a timeout as both teams consider what their game plan, what adjustments they should make moving forwards. But XSET have won 5 out of 6 of the rounds in this half, including that all-important pistol and follow-up.
Was the most important round for them to win in this half.
And it's given them that new lease on life.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you've lost every other pistol round in the series, something like that can just be the difference maker to turn things. Get your confidence all the way back up again. Still, long way to go.
And this looks quick. Garage split.
Apply committal from Leviathan again. Spectre's in play, but a fully pushed up position. Zekin, baits out the shots. King's already in though. Stun's going to be in action. Now does Def get away with that? Absurd, absolutely absurd, but shut down easily enough. I can hear the screams back and forth between the two teams on the stages.
Honestly, Brent, if Zekken had gone down there in C Cubby, they could have lost that round. They really could have. Def and Aaron got overwhelmed on the site and relied on BCJ coming to bail them out. Zekken being able to pick up 3 was the key.
You see that going full stunned? Get fucked.
Well, emotions are a roller coaster in this game. Leviathan were the ones smiling and laughing at the halftime, but they're not doing that anymore. It's all in XSET's camp.
It's flipped. It's flipped.
So much of this game is about controlling that mentality, being able to perform even when you're losing.
Now it feels like XSET are the ones who are in control still. Another critical round for them to try and bring it to even. Leviathan, they got to stop XSET in their tracks when they've gained momentum like this. This is the buy round that you've invested in.
It's a double operator setup on the other side of things too. Zekken was using an op, now has picked up a Phantom. The generational wealth on the side of XSET.
Yeah, I mean, inheriting these weapons, passing them down, aren't they? Old play from Aaron for information. Doesn't see too much, but the players are lurking, waiting in short. And he just walks right into the line of sight. King holding it. BCJ's just checking it with his face. Punished, of course, but Aaron, Paolo's not going to be spotting him. Patience being shown, but he takes the shot eventually. Now a paranoia in play. Up close and personal. The shots are whiffing.
It's just the perfect timing for Aaron too. After a complete breakdown of that short hold, he still finds the crucial hero play.
What is this lurk? Reverso. Timing being found. They're taking the spike back. All the way over to A. The players have moved away from it, all because the trademark was triggered in mid.
And Aaron is up in A lobby. Melsa gets caught. They're not going to expect Adverso here, but now that the spike goes down, they're going to realize somebody slipped through the cracks. Do they know 2 people did it? Taco.
Crossfire here from Adverso. He's got to play patiently, but he swings into it. That's XSET, another round, Josh, another round. They've brought it even in this map.
What a ridiculous comeback, but what a ridiculous round as well. I don't like the way that Aaron and BCJ played the short hold, but it doesn't matter whether I liked it, it worked.
Yeah.
You normally see BCJ go for some kind of trap play. Aaron holds contact. Somebody peeks, BCJ flashes, they try and punish. Instead, he just walks in. But that meant no one checked Aaron, and he just got the paranoia out in time. It barely clips Shy.
It's not the cleanest gameplay in the world. No one's going to try and convince you of that.
Let's go!
For XSET, it's getting the job done, isn't it?
Give it to Jordinia.
It is. It really is. And it's Heartbreak City for Leviathan. 3 players ready for the C push. Dodged the first blow, which was Zekken almost getting a collat.
These shots are being rattled.
Melza knows that Garage is being left empty in a lot of these rounds. However, Zekken's taken the moment to just watch towards it. And on the other side of the map, you've got Taco finding a duel, unfortunately unable to get it.
Just a B play.
But Melza on the lurk.
Back, rolling thunder as well on top of it, and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Disrupted, I say that still! Kills being found. Melza, last one standing. Spike dropped down onto B.
With an operator in his hands somehow.
He's found that one. But can he get a player within his crosshair, within the angle he needs to take the shot? So scrappy is the gameplay between them.
And the operator is not the weapon he would have wanted for this.
No.
40 seconds to work with, but the time not really on his side. And his position given away by the fact that he smoked there. Aaron with a wall bang. XSET take the lead.
You've got to be joking.
How is that possible?
Got to be joking.
After the start that they had in this map, it should have been Leviathan's tied up with a pretty little bow on top.
Yeah. The confidence and momentum, you could hear him screaming across the stage in the first half. Leviathan had everything going for them, and now a timeout has to be taken. For the first time in this map, XSET have taken a lead after being down. I mean, just so far in the round differential, so far.
A 9-3 half, which was never looking particularly competent.
But Josh, I'll tell you now, the difference maker is Leviathan take this time out. Def was at the bottom of the scoreboard in the first half.
Yeah.
He was sitting at the very bottom of it.
He had 3 kills, I believe, in the first half. Yeah. Now he has 16. Def's defensive side, when he's not having to IGL, perhaps when some of the pressure is taken off his shoulders, he's making much better decisions.
Yeah.
And he's able to find good value out of his utility too. He was a key player that needed to step up. You're looking at Def, BCJ, to some extent Aaron too. Because you know you're getting good stuff out of Zekken and Cryo every time. I think for the Leviathan though, not only do they need to calm down and make sure that their mentality's in the right place, but they have a nugget of information, which is Melzer is getting through Garage for free on a lot of these rounds. And if they can take that nugget of info that they found on the eco rounds and turn it into a strat, maybe they can make something work here.
They just have to find a foothold. At this point, they've lost grip of the half. You don't want to lose grip of the series. You don't want to lose grip of it at all. Your hopes and dreams on the line here in this one. Quick dodge at a flash there, Zekken with the Blade Storm, but he's used all of them almost at his disposal, and a return fire.
He didn't burn the dash. He didn't think to pop it. Oh, and the timing from BCJ. So confident, but he gets results.
Stunned on the aftershock into the corner, Haunt on top of it. It's all being applied. Countless amounts of pressure straight into the middle of the map. A Prowler for a dog in exchange of it.
And they've drawn all of the information, all of the utility out of BCJ. Flash, Trailblazer, all used there, just off the back of a Prowler and a smoke. And now the question becomes, how do they want to work this? 4v4, what does the mid-rounding look like for Leviathan when the pressure is on? Look at how open B and Garage are. And I think Leviathan should know, based on what they've encountered so far.
It's wide open. Players of XSET, though, happy to just hold their positions. So passive with the defensive protocol. And Leviathan now starting to lurk their way forwards. A deep Haunt right on top of B, the fault line. Now you're going to start to see it, the plant. Can they get into this post-plant situation? It is there. Players still alive on top of it as well, and now they're going to be vacating their way down into the bottom of mid, but they have to hold these positions if they want any chance of finding a way back in to this round.
This one could get messy. I mean, they've just got to span through the smoke again.
Yep, Nightfall on top of it. Spams through, there's nothing to really block that choke point. In fact, Aaron, he's been down and out. There's no smokes to block that now. The fight has to be taken. No sound cues whatsoever for XSET to work with. They are contacting all the way. The paranoia, same gliding, a flick of the wrist, but still the damage is done and dealt. Kills flowing one after the other. And the kill feed lights up red for Leviathan.
A huge round for the Chilean team, drawing things back 11-11. Leviathan are not going quietly here. They still have a fight in them. And I think the way that they played that round was quite nice. Putting early pressure Garage, bleeding a lot of utility out. Look how aware Taco is that this push is going to come through. And if BCJ had a Trailblazer or a Flash, the ones that he used in Garage earlier, they might have gone for a fast retake and actually pushed Leviathan. Instead, those tools unavailable. BCJ was still one away from his Seekers. They couldn't create the pressure they needed.
Being used now, the Prowler and the Boombot, just to disrespect Cryo, get him off the angle. One doesn't get much though, and Cryo, well, he's still going to be holding this one, but Melzer up onto the high ground angle, watching for the push. Exchange of fire, and now they're re-pushing his positioning, and they're going to take that space again.
Cryo using the Seekers very early in the round to set himself back up on short. This could be massive. If Cryo's able to find a kill, Adverso jiggles it. I don't know whether Adverso saw him there. Cryo's got into a nasty position, but he could be swung from either angle.
Prowler finding though. This time you got to respect it.
Yeah, very diligent work from Shy, from Adverso. And now that XSET's had information denied on the A side of the map, they move towards Garage. But the Trailblazer re-clears short. That means they have an idea that things are heading towards Garage, and Def is waiting, and he's been playing so well this half.
Horn to try and clear through. Leviathan just trying to make the most of it, but a paranoia, that is beautiful. 3 targets found, a stun on top of it. They are being delayed and stopped right in their tracks. King, he offloads the showstopper right into the smoke, but the crossfire, too much. It overpowers them. Melzer, will he be able to find the answer? Him and Shy have come up with goods time and time again, and they've managed to turn it enough. Down to the 1v1, him versus Shy, but BCJ with the Red Bull clutch.
Well, it's been a while since we had a BCJ round,
Match
but
point.
there it is. If there was anybody ready to shut down Melzer and Shy, it had to be the big guy. Melzer, we were due for a Melzer round. I thought it was
30
coming.
seconds left.
I mean, he was clean with it. He was clean with it.
Those shots
enemy
are
remaining.
just gorgeous from Melzer.
Gets his team back in this round.
But BCJ, so unexpected. That back position and holding a clean angle.
And this is the round that matters the most. Right here, fast start. You can see the utility again exchanged, but the money situation not too great for
Melzer's got the
Leviathan.
spike.
He's just all the way in heaven. He's dropped it.
That's the spike.
The overheat moment. The positioning. What a blunder. What a whiff. It's match point for them.
No way!
You've got to be kidding me.
They know
He does the full damage. This is absolutely absurd.
I've never seen anything like that.
What am I witnessing? What am I watching? 3 players left alive. The hopes and dreams again. Leviathan. The pressure is on.
And you can feel it in every fiber of their being.
Every mistake that's made, every moment of this when the Haunted spots it out. TP is going to get killed. 4 players remaining now. The swing comes through. Trying to play it. Cryer returns the drop down. It's mistimed. Player's still alive. Rolling Thunder. It catches onto 2. And Shy's been set up for it. He's good for it again. All the way for OT. They will bring it there.
There's simply no way that Leviathan win that round.
Switching sides.
You're telling me that Melzer ults into heaven with the spike, dies, and King retrieves it while killing himself with 4 damage. And that's the round they win.
I've never seen anything like it.
3v4.
I've never
Show
seen
me
anything
the
like it.
replay.
What is this? What is this? Slight misplays being made. But what a way to salvage it. Look at how quickly King is able to reset the movement.
What on earth is that kill? King onto death. How does he do that? Leviathan are clutch gods. They're also making major mistakes, but then they're still able to recover it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just outlandish. It's
And
outlandish.
And for XSET, that's another one of those match points. Down the drain, can they hold on?
Both these teams battling. This way, that way. Elimination game. XSET, again, trying to push back away from that curse of the first seed in North America. Do not want to be going out here. But Leviathan, they don't want to be finished with their run either.
Such a slow beginning to this round. So tense, so quiet from XSET. They're anticipating some aggression. Leviathan, they were very aggro on their defense side. And this setup is exactly the kind of thing that XSET can be ready to clear.
What a tenuous round this is. They spotted it.
Do they
the
think we're
location?
shy?
A stun, an aftershock. King is in trouble, has to swing out. There needs to be backup. Shy does respond. He only gets the one, but eventually traded out.
Good fault line coming out there from Adverso as well. Allows King the space to back off and save his life.
Time is running low, Josh.
Melzer could be the hero player again.
Once more. Down, and he's found it. Readjusts the aim, readjusts it once more, but again the trade is there. And Def moving forwards, Pearson straight through into mid. It's going to be the B plan, off into the corner, but King, he looks to make a play, looks to disrupt it. The teleport, he whiffs it, still finds the kill. The final bullet getting it, and King locks it down.
Another round where Leviathan look like they should be on the back foot, like it should all be over. And it never is. It simply never is.
Switching sides.
King and Taco
Match
taking
point.
their team to match point. And for Leviathan on Ascent, it only took 4 match points that XSET have let
One
slip
enemy
through
remaining.
their fingers like so many grains of sand. And Leviathan have been so clutch. They only needed a single map point on Ascent. How many is it going to take them here on Haven?
How do you take it? Reassess the situation. Just as it.
It's just incredible. And I think, honestly, for XSET there, a bit of an overheat moment towards the end. There's no real reason for Aaron to go for a TP back before they've just solidified their position for a moment. And there's a great reason to go for a garage reflank there when you don't know too much about the positioning. It's not even planted for garage. The XSET players getting a little scattered, but listen, this is not perfect Valorant. We've seen insane mistakes from both teams. It's just about who can make fewer and who can punish their opponents more.
Yeah. Happens when you have moments like this. The series going down to the wire.
Look at Zekken just taking deep breaths. What a performance he's had for his first time on stage. This tournament has been excellent from Cryo, from Zekken. Do they have it in them to go to another round of OT?
It'd have to be ridiculous. The Leviathan being in this situation. Match point now. Not just map point. Everything to play for. Not holding back with this one. Utility's just going to get dumped straight into B. And Melzer, he just opts to stick it. Plan coming through, but this time Def responds. Flashing the aftershock into the corner. It's a fast retake from XSET, and they've instantly come up with the answers.
An awesome response straight off the timeout.
Spam down, half on the defuse. Aaron just choosing to stick it. Players are falling. Shido dealt with right into the pocket of it. Takalia unable to respond.
And XSET take a situation where it could have become a little dangerous towards the end, and they make sure to fully convert and put Leviathan to bed. We're going to a second round of OT.
I don't know how much more I can take in this shot.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Brent. I knew I was a fan of LATAM Valorant when I watched Crew at Champions.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there was another team that could make my heart feel like this. Leviathan are putting it all out there. And I'm sure picking up fans left, right and centre as well, as are XSET. Both of these teams' first times on the international stage and delivering us a banger of a series to keep their hopes and dreams alive.
Inspiring stuff. I think incredible resilience from Leviathan in map 2, bringing it all the way, but also XSET making it as close as it is. 13-13 in this OT.
And notice that Leviathan on their defense right now, not going for the Season 8 combos as they were for the vast majority of the regulation, keeping them for the mid-round. And King's going for a peek, he dies, gets punished. King was looking for information, wondering whether the XSET players were still hanging around. Well, one was.
Yeah, the slow default coming up with finally a kill. Felt like XSET really weren't given that much when they were playing this slow, but look at the repush from Adverso. He's going to wander right into the line of sight, right into the angle. There's no trade, but Cryo, he's still doing damage.
Cryo's trying to do everything right now for XSET, but Adverso couldn't be traded. He slipped away, and that's kept the player disadvantage to 1. And now even.
Contact peek across, Takalia. Of course he's favoured in that. The operator buying into it. All of his money being spent when it's OT, no armor to his
30
name.
seconds left.
Adverso's still looking for these aggressive info pushes.
I can't believe
so
this.
confident. He got away with it the first time.
When do you ever reclear this? When do you ever reclear this? And this crosshair placement's immaculate. Adverso collects another one at the back of the sky. Shy, backing away. The horn placed down. Cryo, unable to play the game right now. Sees the aftershock onto the corner of the plant. Has to be stuck, Aaron. He needs to survive this now. His team needs him playing inside of the smoke. Off to the side, Shy! How does he collect that shot?
Out-dueled!
Is perfect.
And what a round from Adverso, honestly. Adverso and Shy both playing
God.
that fantastically, but Adverso going for the re-clear down C long. Holds that position, sends an aftershock that makes Cryo and Aaron very uncomfortable, and then comes back in for the flash to help Shy close the round out. Leviathan with another match point.
On the cusp. On the cusp.
Adverso having so much impact in this round. So did Cryo, but honestly, that duel in the smoke is what really turns things. Yeah. Everyone else battling to keep the round even, and then Shy gets inside Aaron's smoke and tips the balance.
One more round will do it for Leviathan. One more round. Carrying themselves forwards in the lower bracket, knocking XSET out.
And putting themselves through to champions ahead of Crew. That's what Leviathan are playing for right now.
Another fast play towards B on their attack side. This time, The fault line's going to be used early.
Oh,
Slow.
the pivot.
And it's an instant pivot right into Garage, but the one-way is still there. The Prowler spots it. Aaron's in trouble, has to TP to the side, has to avoid it, but the paranoia is going to catch. No information really for him. A smoke to split the side up, but it's still being committed now by Leviathan. It's timid in the approach. It looks like they want to commit to this one, but they're just back and forth, back and forth.
A massive rotation from XSET. 4 players are over towards C. Adverso fails to break the trademark, actually, so he's not even creating pressure elsewhere on the map. Meantime, Cryo just holding with his operator, begging the rest of his team to win the round.
Nerves potentially playing a part. The round has been slowed down with 50 seconds left. These rat angles that are being played, Garage control being held the entire time, and now you start to see it come through again. The horn and the fault line shot has to be found. Def is there, but Melza wants more return still. Eventually trading him, removing the veteran presence away from Garage. A satchel play in. They find themselves into the side, but the kills is being locked. Aaron collects it, down to King. Can he secure it? Can he do the unthinkable? A hard clear at Platt, but the crossfire. Oh, it was there. It was ready and waiting. And again, Josh, again, we go to another section of overtime.
Awesome resilience from XSET, not allowing the same mistakes to happen, not allowing the same crumble that occurred on Ascent. They keep themselves alive in the series. Def putting on a great job here. I mean, it's too sloppy to call it a masterclass from everybody, but that's just the nerves, that's just the pressure getting to them all.
Yeah.
But Def at the back of Garage on the defensive side. He's now the top fragger for the team after having, I think, 3 kills in the first half.
Turned it all the way around.
And we said it needed to happen. Now, Zekken making his way towards B, dashes in.
The timing. Takolea's going to be pushed off the angle. The paranoia. Zekken's so deep right now. All the way into it, but Takolea, the quick scope. Unbelievable form. And he finds another one. Right for the efforts. It's not over just yet, though. Cryo's dealt with. Finds it again. Tour de force pulled out. One more player at the back, and Aaron shut down. How many times will Leviathan get this close? How many times can they bring it to match point?
Match point.
What an insane round from Takolea. Holding his ground, finding the kills, and that's a strategy that they used before, that XSET to be clear. That dash into B and flank to put pressure on the Garage player. It's a very set strat that XSET used against Optic in the grand finals, and it looked like Taco was ready for it. It's weird pathing. You expect it to catch him out. But he rendezvoused away, reset his aim perfectly, and punished the Jet player for XSET. Leviathan stand on the precipice once more.
This could be it. An important moment for every single player in the server right now. For their entire careers on the line. This match is going to define so much.
Here's the bait play that I was talking about over at short. But there's no one from Leviathan anywhere near apart from Taco. They're playing C site for retake, so heavily reading this as an A push. And after a while, BCJ goes for the informational play, but this is going to end up being a C retake.
That's good enough. Another one has to be used, and finally information's gained. It's pulled players back. They're second guessing themselves. And Leviathan this entire time, they have contacted, they have crawled their way up into C.
And the question becomes at this point, honestly, Grant, do Leviathan push even further? It looks like no. They've been going for these big spam post plants. Someone needs to reflank Garage.
Yeah, there needs to be an approach from the other side of things.
Maybe that's going to be Takolea's job. But otherwise, this series, the tournament life of XSET could come down to a spam battle.
Literally just straight down C-long. Bit of a tap onto the spider utility now, just starting to come through. The horn has to be dealt with already. The kills are flooding one way, this way, that way, pushing through the smoke, but the nade is in play. Def, he sticks him, but he's down. It's all up to Zekken and Aaron, and there's just not enough time. It's come down to this. The ticking away, the kills might flow, but Leviathan are gonna be your winners. Leviathan are the ones moving forwards.
And you can see what it means to these guys. Not only do they advance in the bracket, Leviathan are making champions ahead of Crew, the most successful team so far this year from the Latin American region. Chile on top. What a performance. The XSET guys shrugging it off. And they had their opportunities, but they squandered them. LEVIATÁN were just so clutch every time.
The passion that comes from this region as well. You can feel how much it means to them with this win. They move forwards through the lower bracket. They knock out XSET, the #1 North American seed. The curse continues.
And for these squads, it just seems like they need more time, more experience to be able to perform in the same metric as they have done before. But for LEVIATÁN, they just haven't needed that. They've instantly taken to the stage environment, winning so many pistol rounds, so many clutches, and giving us a banger of a series. Brent, if you told me that the last remaining South American team was going to be LEVIATÁN, if you had said that a few months ago, even a few weeks ago, I would have laughed at you. Loud in the tournament, crew looking rejuvenated.
It just seems so unlikely, doesn't it?
But
at the end of the day,
it's this plucky, full Chilean squad that remains.
Exactly, the clutches, the huge moments, the individual moments. Means so much for them. You can feel it. The energy that was brought here today. What a showcase of skills from both sides.
And thankfully, Brent, they didn't celebrate too early. Up 9-3 at the half, and finally able to convert. For XSET, they obviously still have their opportunities for the rest of the year. But they'll be looking at the other side of the stage, wishing desperately that it was them, that they've been able to convert where LEVIATÁN have. What a performance. What a team to track as they move forwards in the lower bracket.
Looking particularly dangerous, I think. Just their ability to pull magic out of thin air. You see it, it feels like once every global event, once a Masters, a Champs, there's always a team that just ends up surprising, going on a run, exceeding expectations.
And perhaps the same story from Reykjavik will repeat itself. Optic takes down the NA #1 seed. They fall to face the team that lost to DRX. And that team that lost to DRX proves to go on a run. It was Paper X last time at Reykjavik. We all know how dangerous they were, finishing up in 4th place. Perhaps something similar on the cards for LEVIATÁN. What they showcased today was an improvement upon the glimpses of greatness we saw in the game against DRX. And if they can find those moments of magic again, this team is gonna be so fun.
Yeah, so fun to watch, man. I mean, just from top to bottom, this series, it delivered big time. I mean, there was so many moments where you just thought it was gonna be over.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here, our in-zone MVP. You can vote for who you thought it was. I mean, there are some big names on there. Well-deserved, I think, for a lot of the players. Melzer for his map 2 performance, honestly keeping him in it. But King and Taco as well was just so consistent, I think, throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, but to me, Brent, the consistency is awesome from Taco, from King, especially from Taco, actually.
Sure.
But Melzer kept them alive.
He did.
And that to me,
that's
is
quite
the
valuable.
difference maker.
That's quite valuable.
If they had not had even a single one of those Melzer rounds, they're out right now.
Yeah.
They're out, they're gone.
They're done.
And this was an astoundingly good performance.
Still hear them screaming.
Yeah.
The LEVIATÁN players still celebrating.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they can probably scarcely believe it themselves. But, man, an outstanding series. The tournament continues to just shake things up, but it's still predictable. The scriptwriters still quite lazy, apparently. You know, they're still quite lazy. But regardless of all that, we're going to go to a short break, ladies and gentlemen, and our analyst that's going to break down the action of the day. You know you don't want to miss it, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
These are the first seeds of their regions. They both still have a lot to prove, and certainly it is not the right time for them to go home.
10 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
Nice! What a thrifty to get XSET back into this one early.
What a spray down!
That is classic Zeka.
XSET going to be claiming map #1 in this series as elimination match between them and LEVIATÁN. Nice! He has to break this. Now the pressure, the time on him. He comes up with it. It's like Tappy knows he's not dead. The up-trap moving forward. What is that? You've got to be kidding me. But it's just too much for him to overcome, and they bring it all the way. brutal, raining down all the brimstone, all the explosives. Kills flowing one after the other. The kill feed lights up red for Leviathan.
One enemy remaining.
Nice!
This is absolutely absurd.
Enemy remaining.
I didn't know there was another team that could make my heart feel like this.
Leviathan are going to be your winners. Leviathan are the ones moving forwards.
That was the Prime Gaming post-match highlights. And I just have a question for you, Midge and Mimi, both of you. Where were you when Melsa TP'd into A Heaven and lost the spike? I'm never going to forget that ever.
I was right here, just losing my utter mind. That round, I think, was the craziest single round of Valorant I've ever witnessed.
I mean, between the guy going into heaven, here it is, right? Completing the teleport. He's thinking, oh, it's as free as can be. No one's up here. And then he's absolutely destroyed. So they've lost the spike in heaven. That should be a damning result,
no way they
surely.
Win this round,
but
right, Mitch?
Oh, absolutely not. But right back up we go. Grab the kill, take the spike, and then die to the fall damage. Of course, they end up winning the round. It's just the craziest thing to see unfold. And all of these things going for XSET. Your likes of Cryo. Death having one of the best games he's had. That was a life game. This guy got absolutely destroyed last time around on Haven. He was getting ruined in early fights. And now he shows up. Cryo shows up. Zekin shows up. But it's not enough.
That was just a pendulum. That entire match of the energy between these two teams. Leviathan, they get that 9-3 half. They start popping off. They start feeling it. And then it gets ripped away from them. XSET pulls such an impressive defense. They were so good at the retakes, constantly pressuring, not giving any space for Leviathan to play with. And then we get back to overtime. And again, these moments where XSET can close out. 4 moments where they have series point across the series. And they did not close on any of them.
I mean, just look at that scoreline there for Zekin. He still had a pretty good game himself. Same for Cryo. You can see it in the stats and how it plays out. But for such a close game, that's what you expect, right? Both of these teams had to dig deep. And for King, he was a player that we highlighted coming into today. Obviously, Taco was someone we expected probably a lot more than what we saw. And he had some fantastic defender sides, but on the attack was really struggling. Then again, so was the entirety of Leviathan.
Yeah, and with that win, as you guys know, the last spot on points for champions has been secured. That comes from LATAM and Leviathan. They have qualified. We will be seeing them again at champions. And honestly, after that, I'm not mad about it whatsoever. I want to see this team play more maps.
I don't know who the seeding god is, but I just want XSET versus Leviathan again. They're both quad to champs at this point. Just
yeah,
just run it back in Istanbul.
Yeah, rematch of champs.
Yeah,
they need to play that in front of a crowd.
See, I want to see, without whether it's land jitters, whether it was a shaky start, whatever it was, I want to see Taco on land when he's having that third map again and again and again, when he's putting that consistency up, because we know he can. I think this was probably a pretty poor game for him overall, and yet they still looked clean. They still had those other facets. Now, what happens if he shows up from the get-go?
Yeah, well, he was in the poll for the in-zone player of the match. You guys at home voted, and I can now reveal who that goes to, and you have voted for Melsa. Fair enough. After that Ascend game, honestly, I would have given it to him as well.
I mean, how many clutches was it? It was, I think, 4 or 5 that he won in one map alone.
Yeah.
Without Melzer, we do not even see that map being won. It's a 2-0 for XSET. It wouldn't have even been Haven, and then he had clutches in Haven even to keep him going.
Yeah, he was definitely keeping this team on life support. In those first 2 maps, he had 3+ very impactful clutches. I mean, like, single-handedly, I'll point to him and say 3 or more rounds in this first 2 maps separately were his. That, for a game that went this distance, that went to OTs, that went just neck and neck the whole way, without Melser having this kind of life game, they don't get close to this victory.
I don't even know if it's a life game because he was performing well even against CRX, but this was just at another level. I am so excited by this Leviathan team heading in towards the rest of the event because they were looking, I mean, it wasn't even perfect Valorant. It wasn't the cleanest Valorant. It was nowhere near it. But when the pressure was high, when everyone was screaming, when it was coming down to the wire, they held on and they found those crucial moments. They recovered from their mistakes, and that is so valuable in a squad.
Do you guys believe in the lower bracket run here? I mean, Crew back at champions, they attempted it. They went pretty far. Leviathan this time around, what do you think?
I don't know, man. I think a lot of these rounds, I need to see the consistency out of them. Because so many of these rounds that came off, winning the majority of the pistols, winning so many clutches, and still having an incredibly tight game. I think there were a lot of early foundations that they got here that they won't be able to count on in every single matchup. So there's definitely a lot of improvements to be made there. Can we see those improvements happen? Absolutely.
Mitch, you're thinking. I don't want to think at this point. It's
Fair.
past
Fair
midnight
point.
at this point. I just want whatever energy they have injected. It is so just electric to watch this team play. I want to believe so bad that they can get something done in that lower bracket.
You know what? If anything, this team, can you imagine how much they will feed off of a crowd? The energy that they brought,
I
thought
just
we
wanna
already
see
had
it
the
play.
crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are the crowd. They are their own crowd, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to support them now because they knocked out one of your own. So it makes it look like better,
Is that
right?
how
If
that
they,
works?
if they end up winning the whole tournament,
along
you're
those
going to be
lines.
like, oh, we lost the tournament
Yeah,
winners.
it's just like, it's
all
like
good.
crew at champions, you know?
Yeah.
All good. LATAM, close enough, honestly. I just love what this team is showing. Really incredibly fun stuff. They have earned themselves quite a few fans. And I mean, Melzer in particular, he had just such iconic moments. He had just some Melzer moments throughout this series that are just so cool to watch.
And speaking of Melzer, I am so excited for this because he is with Doug right now standing by in the Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you so much to Melzer. Right off the bat, congratulations. I could hear you guys screaming. Energy was through the roof. How do you feel at this moment? Primero de todo, felicitaciones. Estaban gritando, todo sonía bueno. ¿Cómo te sientes en este momento?
Me siento muy feliz,
Me imagino.
muy excitado. Hubieron muchos overtime, así que tengo mucha adrenalina en este momento.
Sudando también, me
Sí,
imagino.
mucho calor.
He's incredibly excited. He's so happy. There was a lot of energy, a lot of overtime rounds, but he's just so happy that they were able to pull it off. There were rounds that you single-handedly won for the team. If not for you, the series ends. How did you do it? Habían rondas que si no por usted, pierden la serie. El segundo partido lo habían perdido y habían quedado. ¿Cómo lo hiciste?
Solo apliqué lo que estoy haciendo en entrenamiento. No pude haber demostrado ayer porque, no sé, tuve solo un mal día, pero solamente fue hacer mi trabajo y mantenerme con mente fría.
Essentially, he just said he did what he needs to do in training, right? It's the same thing every single day. He wasn't able to perform the same way yesterday, but that was just because he had an off day. It all worked out. I want to ask you about the round on Haven where you teleport up with the bomb and you die. What happened? What was your team's response? Te quiero decir pregunta de la ronda cuando tenías la bomba y en Haven muriste. ¿Qué tu equipo qué te dijeron en ese momento?
Bueno, mi equipo no me dice nada. Obviamente,
No te querían hablar.
Claro, los errores no los decimos durante el partido, pero fue solamente por la ansia y la adrenalina del partido que se me olvidó que llevaba la bomba. Era un error mío.
¿No sabías que la tenía?
No sabía.
He said they didn't tell him anything. In those moments, they try not to talk about mistakes in those moments, but ultimately it was just adrenaline. He forgot that he had the spike, and that happens to all of us, so it's nice to know that you're human as well. Last question I have for you, man. Emotions, energy riding high. What do you want to say to your fans, to your supporters in this moment? Última pregunta. ¿Hay algo que te quieres decir a la gente, a todos los fans que te están soportando y todos los seguidores que tienen en este momento?
Quiero primero agradecer a mi familia, a mi novia, que siempre me apoyan todos los días, y obviamente a los fans que sigan creyendo que LEVIATÁN tiene para mucho rato y para demostrar mucho nivel.
He said first and foremost, he wanted to thank his family, his girlfriend, always supportive, and to all of the fans to continue to believe Leviathan still has a lot more to show. Felicitaciones otra vez. That's going to do it for this interview. We're going to throw it back to Sue at the desk. Sue?
Thank you very much, Doug. What a great interview. And it's great to hear, those moments. He forgot the spike. I think we kind of all suspected that. But King with a recovery, though, I still think that moment was kind of what won them the series.
It was unreal. Like he could have probably thrown the spike out, but he was full HP when he jumped. He thought he was safe, got spammed in the back, and ended up going down. But sometimes you got to go down for the team, right? Take one for the team, and King's certainly willing to do that.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just this team has become so lovable. Just listening to them, listening to the energy, feeling it throughout their journey in the... I mean, it was one series, but it really did feel like a journey to get to this point. I'm just really excited to watch more out of them.
Speaking of the journey, do you guys remember that FPX play today, earlier a little bit? You know, take your mind back like 12 hours because we have a HyperX reflex moment of the day here with Suigetsu. Some of you guys might have forgotten this after all the craziness we witnessed.
I forgot this, but okay. Now
You remember
my
now.
memory has been served. I saw where he is, and that is the way he starts things off. Finding, what was it, a 4K in the end to save this game for FPX. It would have been a 2-0 for Guild because they did win out so dominantly on threes, but Suigetsu saved them, kept them in this one, and managed to avoid that overtime, even having Artis clutch things out in the end there.
I feel like those sort of moments, you know, where Suigetsu comes into the tournament, he's been away for a little while, he missed out the first couple of games, you really see that hunger in him to just come back in, make a name for himself on the stage, and, you know, it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, the real FPX, as they keep saying, is back, yeah. And the real FPX are going to carry on in this tournament. If we take a look at the bracket, we had 2 huge elimination games today. We sent 1 NA home team and 1 EU home team. How poetic, isn't it? They have to go home together.
I just realized both Guild and XSET are gone.
Yeah,
and that's
hasn't
really,
set in yet.
Yeah, it only just is setting in for me at this point. It's really tragic to say goodbye to them. Guild, such a great run from them to make it out of the group. Such low expectations for this team from so many people coming in, but they built up to that, had an excellent performance, almost beat FPX in that series, and XSET as well. Well, they lost in this one. Well, they had that NA curse come to fruition yet again still. It was an incredible series out of them.
So painstaking. They're going to lose sleep over that. 4 series points for XSET. 4 chances to claim that spot in round 2 of the lower bracket, and instead they end up going home. Now, the good thing is this tournament, we talked about it from the very start. We've heard it from their coach. We've heard it from their team. They're in champs. They know they're locked in. And really, some of the things that you'll take out of this event, it's more than just, oh, well, when we play Haven on LAN, we need to do this. It's also like, when do we get food before the practice, right? Like, how many hours of prac are we doing a day? Are we ordering water to the room? There's so many things that you need to do behind the scenes at a LAN that you're not used to doing in the comfort of your home, or even coming into some regional LANs. I think that this is a massive learning experience for them, and, well, they've got plenty of time to learn ahead of champs.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the bright side for them as well, you know, maybe it sucks that they lost, but think of how many more suits Psycho would have had to wear. He doesn't have to buy new ones for champions now. He can just keep
I'm sure he'll be really happy about that. Yeah, we should ask him. Is it a relief?
That was a lot sadder than I thought.
Yeah, that's just ruined my night now.
I'm sorry, Sue.
It's okay. It's time for us to go to sleep. I think that's it. I think that's all the time we have for today.
It's bedtime.
Yeah, thank you so much for sticking with us if you've been here all day. We're going to be back tomorrow, however, with 2 giga bangers, in my opinion. Fnatic are going to be taking on Paper Rex, and Optic will be playing DRX. Make sure you join us again tomorrow, and we'll see you then.